and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of The Flank. I'm joined by the one and only Christopher Duarte, some of the best analysis in the business. Parasite, world champ, show him some love, of course. We got the one and only Patrick Price, the multi-world champion. He's in game development now. Guy's an absolute animal. Give it up for the Slayer, a.k.a. Aches. And then, of course, we got the executive producer, Mr. Benjay Nassim. No Sam tonight. Sam had some family business to take care of tonight. I think he had like a little family get-together or something. So Octane wasn't available today in the watch parties or the show. So hopefully we get Sam back tomorrow, man, because we love Sam. We miss Sam. But, guys, how you guys doing, man? You guys doing all right? Slayer, we missed you yesterday, bro. We missed you, man. How you doing, Pat?
Yeah, I'm good. I had to jump on yesterday to talk about the pinch. But yeah, yesterday was... honestly, a lot like today, Tom. A lot of quick series across the board. So, there's a lot of DoorDash was delivered today.
Yeah, a few DoorDashes and honestly, a few really good maps. A lot of close maps. There was a few battles in there, but we'll obviously go over it. Chris, how you doing, man? You doing all right?
I'm doing great, man. My CDL prediction record's looking up after the last 2 days. Vamos Bucks are paying dividends.
Yeah,
right now.
I agree, bro. I've been going with Miami every single show, every prediction, and they have definitely been helping me in that line. They're what, 3-0 now, Chris, right?
Yeah, they're looking good.
Yeah, no, they're moving, bro. Shout out to Miami, man. Hey, bro, get a Vamos spam in the chat right now. But yo, Ben, how you doing, brother? What's going on with you, man?
Good. Was watching some sports this morning. Hopped on stream, watched a little bit of COD Mobile. That was it was good. I mean, there was just a lot of 3-0s, and then we watched some COD. And I think we're at a point right now. You know, Pat, I think you brought this up, even at like champs, that you felt like we were going to end up with sort of a top-heavy league. And so far, I mean, Miami's the only team in the med pack that hasn't played the top teams yet. I think that's proven true. I think New York, Toronto, FaZe, and Optic have kind of pulled ahead a bit of everybody else.
Yeah, Slay's, like he likes to say, never wrong, just early. You know what I mean? Just another day in the office for Pat.
I would even add to that like even the 5 through 9 teams, like I feel like we don't even have a 5 through 9 right now. Like outside of Heretics, I feel like there's like a 6 through 12, and they're all in the same tier almost. Like
Seattle probably beat up on everybody
okay, yeah,
else.
Seattle would be an exception, but like Boston, Rokkr, like all those guys that we thought were gonna be middle of the pack have looked terrible to me. So I'm kind of surprised that we don't have that middle of the pack that we expected, and then obviously have a new face with the Miami Heretics surprising everybody.
There's no mid pack. They're just mid.
Damn, that's crazy. It's a good one, man. It's a good one. Not bad. Listen, let's hop in. Let's go to the first match of the day. First one is going to be Miami Heretics going up against the Minnesota Rokkr. Now, they didn't show the vetoes till after map 1, so you do get the result there for map 1, but take a look at that. Anything on the vetoes that catch you guys by surprise? Anything that catches your eye before we hop into the map number 1?
Can't wait for Terminal to get removed. That's all I'm thinking.
Well, it's even worse now, right? With the new update?
Yeah, it's definitely getting worse, Tom. You might be onto something. We might have bring in some grease. We got Season 1 Reloaded coming in mid-January as well before Major 1. Maybe Major 1, we get a map shakeup, man. We got 2 new maps coming in soon.
Have you played
They said
Grease?
it's not till after, right?
Yeah, you can't do it till after.
I've watched you play it. The spawns make sense, just not a fan of the format. But at the end of the day, I mean, the format will probably grow on people as people play it. But the next map that's coming in is Rio, which doesn't look too bad either. So I mean, we got some stuff to look forward to.
What do you mean by format? What do you mean by that? Like the way the hills are laid out? You're saying, or the way it's like laid out?
The map layout. Like there's just a lot of like alleys and stuff like that. It's like super tight. I don't know if I like it, but I mean, I haven't played it enough. But so you might be a little bit more.
I don't know. I kind of like the size of it, honestly. Like I like it tight. Like I like the tight lanes. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, honestly,
what?
Who doesn't?
Bro, you don't like the smaller maps, Pat? You don't like the smaller maps?
Not really, Tom.
Why not?
Really. I feel like they're just so chaotic. Like, and part of the problem I think we have now is just like certain hills being in like small rooms. Like I hate that type of design. I want some positioning, Tom. Some positioning to matter.
There's definitely positioning on Grease, bro. 100% there is.
What position? The map is like 30 meters across.
Yeah, we can actually have some machine guns in there.
Oh, well, yeah, if you want it for that reason, then definitely,
I just want it because I'm tired of watching these maps where it's just posted up watching crosses, just holding like crossfires. Like at least on Grease, like the spawns make complete sense. There's a front and back spawn on every hill. Pinches, you spawn people out.
Do you have one of your VODs going on in the background?
No, what do you mean?
Oh, it's probably maybe me. Keep going. Sorry.
What are you talking about? What's this guy
No,
talking
no, no,
about?
no. Get back on track.
It's the
I know what's going
executive
on.
producer. He's checking me out, but nah, I feel like it plays well, Pat. Like when you watch it, like it actually, like I think it'll be a 2 AR, 2 sub map. By the way, but at least by seeing it, have you played it, Pat? Have you played it at all? Or no?
I haven't played, and definitely not in like a hard point, so I can't say that. But I trust you though, Tom. I trust you.
Pat's been grinding a lot of meat off stream.
You've been grinding meat, Pat, because that map is terrible.
I thought meat was pretty good, Tom.
That map is fun.
That
Yeah.
map is just chaos.
That map is horrible. Go ahead, Ben.
I mean, like I guess listen, I want to give Miami their flowers. I think we saw them beat Carolina first week, and we're like, okay. I mean, great start for the Vamos boys. Want to see what they do with a double match week. And after today and yesterday, I think I feel pretty confident. First off, they're gonna make winners bracket, so I feel pretty good about Miami making top 8, top 6 or higher at this first event unless they get double rounded. Second is I think what we expected with this team, the weird play style, the aggression, the chemistry these players have had from teaming all those years ago, coming back together. I think these guys have cohesed nicely, moving to the US, being a unit, living in Florida, and I like what I see. Obviously, you want to see them play some better teams. You can only play who's in front of them, but I really like the showing against some of their teams that are going to be sort of, we expected their level of being top 6 fighting for champs.
Are they all 4 in Florida?
I believe so.
Yes,
Yeah.
they are.
So what server do they typically play on? In these games,
like against a Dallas team,
or just any team. Like
Most teams are probably in
probably
Dallas, so.
probably an Atlanta server if they're in Dallas.
that's nice for them.
That is nice for them. That's not too bad.
But I'm
Yeah,
also
or
curious, like
a
to your point.
Virginia.
But to your
Yeah.
point, like, yeah, like something about like these Spanish teams that, and even European teams, in some extent, like when you haven't played against them, like their play style is very different than what you're used to, and I'm wondering if
aggressive.
that's gonna like catch up, right? Like players are gonna kind of learn how they play because it was really similar in Black Ops 4. Like initially they played like a style that was really hard to kind of predict and play against when you weren't used to it, and I wonder if some of these like teams will kind of learn how they play and if it'll impact them long term.
Maybe.
I don't know if I agree with that just because right now we play a very one-dimensional game, especially in the respawns. Maybe their S&D dynamic might be something that people aren't used to, but like I don't feel like they're doing anything that's separating them from the pack when it comes to the respawns in terms of like anything out of the ordinary.
They just have good teamwork, bro. They chow together. They're really good just playing off one another. Like their chemistry is really good. They know when to get aggressive. They know when to just kind of hold their lanes and hold a crossfire, like right here that you see. Speaking of the map a little bit, kind of want to talk about the map one a bit. This is where Miami started to bring it back. They were down by quite a lot here in the beginning. Rokkr had a really good start. But we know these P4, P5s right here, or sorry, I think, yeah, P4 to P5. This is where Miami started to bring it back. And we've seen this a lot on Terminal, like chaining these two hills together, just because it basically is the same spawn. I thought Miami did a good job just holding on to these back spawns here because they were able to lock down a lot of times. So Miami, they do a good job holding those back spawns. We have a listening with the Minnesota Rokkr. Let's tune in and see how these guys were coming.
I'm gonna throw my catch front, go around right. Got you. No trophy.
Yeah, I'm one
Watch him. I just went anyway.
They close lane down. Back to lane down.
Back to our
Still laying there.
Then I didn't know.
Nom it all.
He's back on me.
They're peeling.
Yeah, they're
Back metals.
Yeah, join me with
I need help. I sent it. No trophy no, guys.
I spawned back left.
Peeling, journey lane down. Journey weak.
Vic, I'm watching.
He's in burger. I'm going off.
Yo, play behind you, I think.
And then Journey's mid home.
I want to be playing behind
Yeah,
you.
play.
Dead.
Metals back hill. Lane down. Looking challenge statue.
Burger pillar.
Challenge statue metals. Nice.
Burger pillar.
I'm repitching front.
I hear you. I'll look right. I'm in the pillar. I set him on the pillar. Pillar Journey.
He's top third red. Top third red. Last guy time.
Right. No, last guy's right. They're gonna spawn there. He's already crossing.
They're all there.
P2. Watch out.
I'm coming to you.
One can pitch right now. I would have to pitch. Journey. I have to pitch. He went in the book.
Behind me, top third.
And one's book. Jump down. I'm not with it.
Stay down, Joe. I spawned plane, Joe.
I see that.
Alright, burger pillar. Right side.
On the car journey.
Metals is in burger.
Okay, I spawn playing.
Alright,
We should go
on the
this
car.
right. We should go right. Don't let him start this 30.
Alright.
Right side time.
Nice.
Watch
All right, that's going to do it for the Minnesota Rokkr listening. What did you guys think? A little hectic. A little bit, but at least they were calming a lot.
Yeah, they do have some good energy, but just talking about a little bit about the map, Tom, we were just discussing the map pool and such, and how like Heretics is like playing really well. The thing is though, I tweeted about it. I said how I don't like how deceptive some of these hard point scores are, where it's like, oh, everyone's like seems like they're having like a really tight game, and a lot of like the score line is close. But I feel like a lot of it comes down to just how gimmicky some of these maps are, some of these hills, how good side bad side impacts the game like in a insanely like impactful manner. Like it's really bad in this game, I think, in terms of how it plays.
Especially on this map for sure.
Exactly. And like sometimes like it has I'm super hesitant about like the way I will like give these teams their flowers and like how well they're doing, because I feel like with the next patch, with how different the spawns are, and hopefully the map pool changes a little bit, I'm not sure if like some of these teams might be able to keep up with that sort of pace and how they're playing like currently at the beginning of the season. But I don't know, it's just something I think about, because I don't know, personally it bothers me a lot.
I mean, all I'll say is top 5 hardpoint teams I think in the game right now, 4 of them are the top 4, and then probably Miami, and then after that it's everybody else. So like,
yeah, I mean it's
you know
playing out. I mean it's playing out how it should. I want to talk about some of these hills. One of them being this plain hill right here, this P3 hardpoint. I don't know if I see Minnesota Rokkr set up. Like I see what they're trying to do. Like they are legit stacked in plain, but I don't know how they lost this. It really isn't that hard. I was talking about this with Scrap before they played their match today. It's not that hard to break plane if you're playing through the front. As long as you're doing it with numbers, and you throw some shimmies and you get some information on where they are, it's pretty easy to break on in. So I thought that was a really big break there for the Miami Heretics. It was good teamwork there from them to kind of swarm on in. And then this is where Minnesota, they get an early rotation over here to this Burger Hill. And this one just gets fucking mixy. It's Journey who was able to get in there. I don't know how Rokkr let this happen. I mean, you can see there's 2 players from Rokkr who get pinched from Hall, and I just think somebody needs to pick up on this, bro. Somebody needs to be watching that until somebody Esky is able to get there and pick it up. I think that was a little bit of a misplay from the Minnesota Rokkr there.
Did Vivid just spawn? Is that what happened?
Vivid?
Yeah, respawned while the guy was like,
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
he but I'm saying
Yeah, they
right
didn't have
here,
anybody there.
Yeah,
when
I'm saying,
there's
I wonder-
nobody here and Reese is dead, like I feel like either 5 or 6 should be looking at their back. Like somebody should be turn around
no,
and look
for
at their
sure.
back here. And
I
then
was just saying, like,
Respawn's
I wonder
low.
if they saw respawn and like peeped their minimap at that time and thought somebody had it.
Maybe because he did spawn like low Esky, so he did spawn close. But I mean, you always spawn Esky. Personally, I think somebody should look at that the whole time, because in Miami they were able to get in here because Lucky got that 2-piece, it opens things up. And honestly, Journey winning this big 1v1 on the hill was massive as well. So good plays here, and you can see Miami, they were able to get some time here. And then I think the biggest play of the game is when it went back to a 3rd set of hard points. It was a pretty much back and forth map. And then at the very end here, I think another misplay comes here from Miami, and I want to get your guys' opinion and see what you guys think about this. But Lamar gets on the contest here at the end, and nobody from Miami pushes him. So you can see Miami, they get a clean wipe. They spawn all of Minnesota out by low Esky, by plane, whatever. So they got to take some routes around the back. They got to try and play through mid. And you can see now they all fall. Everybody dies for Miami. But right here, when Lamar is on a contest, Miami has 3 dead, and there's only 1 guy contesting the point. Don't you think they should chow this here? I mean, they just sat here. It didn't chow this.
I want to even simplify it further, Tom. Back it up to even before this, and I wonder if this is maybe the better play from back it up.
I mean, how far do you want me to fucking go, bro?
Even further, when the 4th guy spawns on Miami, because I think he floods the hill, and he actually probably low key. If he'd stayed in Burger, they probably win this.
Who?
To watch, they get the kills back up here.
I don't know what you're talking about here. You gotta give me time. You gotta give me a time.
Let this play through. So okay, so they get this break right here, right? They get all the kills.
Yeah.
They push, they pinch, they do this situation well. I think you should recognize, and teams are going to recognize that you're going to be giving up like all of your flank. I love then using the burger counter to watch pinch, because you can use the burger counter to not only watch pinch, but you can also then help out the hill cross. And I think, like, theoretically, if one of them had stayed Burger, they probably don't all die here. Like, if number 2, instead of flooding the hill with all of them are already watching, if he stays Burger once number 3 dies, I think they're actually in a really good position here.
Yeah.
But to your
point,
point,
number 3 spawns right on him, though. He spawns close. I really do think Miami played this fine. They got the kills. They just didn't get aggressive when they should have. They should have pushed Lamar out here. Like, Lucky can jump, chow this, and die. Like, as soon as everybody spawns up Esky, Lucky should look at his minimap and be like, oh, all my teammates are behind me. There's 1 guy left contest. I'm jumping at this guy and just killing him. I'm gonna jump, pre-fire, just kill this guy off the contest spot and that's it. That's GG for the most part. I mean, you get an entry there. Miami should be able to get this W, especially even now. Like, you see everything that's going down. There's so many kills. I see people getting wall bangs here a lot where they're able to wall bang them. So maybe he just thought that he could wall bang it, but kind of reminds me of back in the day when Dylan Attach was trying to wall bang the fence.
I think you can only wall bang the barrel. I don't know if you can wall bang the
I don't think you can wall bang the pillar. There used to be a gap there in previous games.
I thought that hurt him, bro. I thought Miami could have won this map as well. I thought right there they got the kills.
I think Lucky was just tweaking because he has no health. And
I'm not gonna lie, this is just like this isn't really more so about this map, but if this map continues to stay, I think they need to remove that contest spot, and they need to just make it so you actually have to physically be in the hill instead of behind the pillars. That would basically turn the escalator side into more of a good side, Tom. I know you already said it kind of already is, but like it would be even more of a good side, which would mean that you're less advantageous spawning security off the rip because that P1 you can actually lock down quite a bit of time.
Yeah. And honestly, got to give it up to Lamar on that play. Just a good play. Just to get down there and contest and just wait for his teammates. I mean, good discipline there to stay alive. I just don't know why Miami didn't push him. But take a look at the final scoreboard. Vivid 30 and 29. 28 and 24 from Lynn. So a good map from them. I know Lamar was struggling early, but he picked it up along the way. Same with Big Wake. And then on the other side, honestly, Miami, they look good in terms of the slaying department, but just the little things, the little decision makings that happened throughout that map ended up costing them that one. So they end up finding themselves down 0-1. Any thoughts on the map one, guys? Any thoughts at all?
I mean, it was a pretty I recommend going back and watching the map. It was a really fun one. In the end, it was very frantic. And I love the active plays from Miami, but to your point, I think their goals at the end prevent them from being able to win this one.
Yeah, I agreed. Any final thoughts, Chris or Pat? Or are you guys good?
I have a generic hardpoint take that I thought was kind of crazy. So last year, there was 34 times that a team got a full hold on a hill, like in the whole year, right?
Yeah.
And in 2 weekends, we're already at 11.
Okay,
Yeah,
to be fair,
that makes sense with how the maps
fair,
are.
But like but it's just kind of crazy. I mean, it's purely a map thing. Like
we had no red dots last year though too.
No, but I've said this, bro. I've said this, bro. This map, this game, yes, the movement, great. Shooting mechanics, great. But like the way the maps are designed, this game, hardpoint wise, takes the least amount of skill out of literally any COD we've had for a pretty long time. Breaking, like there are going to be teams that are no. There are going to be teams that are
way less skill.
Nah, come on now. There was way more like strategy and breaking. Now it's just like
not really, not with no red dots, Chris.
Just take whatsoever.
Not with no red dots. There's never more strategy with no red dots. Yeah,
no red dots, and everybody just sat
RNG.
corners and just sound horde. That's how people played.
Teams are literally just holding every single like hill, like a 60. There's so
but
many
that's just because of the maps. That has nothing to do with the fact that it took more or less skill.
I'm talking about the way the maps are played, like how you attempt to break a hill. It's one dimensional. There's like no strategy in breaking a hill. You literally have to just flood up a street, toss all your shit at a trophy system, run in and trade.
Bro,
at least in the other game, there was way more strategies with like pinches and like taking like splitting people's like setups open. Right now,
but you can't contest that the skill gap though. You can't say that people sound whoring and not having red dots is more skill.
We can agree to disagree, but that's just my
take on it. What are we agreeing to disagree on? That's just factually wrong.
I will stand on that statement,
bro.
I will stand on that statement.
Sound whoring and no red dots is not more skillful ever in any argument.
You're assuming that every single like hill is played like a guy camping in a corner. Just
shit, that's what I saw when I watched, bro. I saw some.
That's not what's happening all the time.
Teams literally were 10 times better with sound EQ, like literally.
And then they would go to land, they would get smashed.
On land, the sound played a lot different. Obviously, on this game, online isn't going to play drastically
Listen, Chris,
different for that reason.
All I'm gonna say right now is in terms of point differential,
you can sit there and disagree
win
with me.
percentage.
Bro, the only thing that changes is the maps.
Stupid shit, bro. Don't say no stupid shit. We can have different opinions. You don't gotta get pissed.
You're not gonna change my mind. I'm just using Pat's statistic in terms of like full holding hills as a way to back up my point.
But that doesn't have anything to do with skill, though, Chris. That's just the maps. That doesn't have anything to do with skill. Whether teams can hold a 60 does not determine whether they're more skill or less skill.
Do you see any of the top teams struggling in hardpoint right now?
I'm talking about the way. No. Not in terms of like, not in terms of winning the maps. I'm talking about in terms of breaking hills. My grandma can hold some of these hills. In MW2, there's like very little actual money hills that the lesser team was almost guaranteed to hold. Like, for example,
so we'll get to one with Seattle against FaZe, bro. People find a way to troll control these hills against better teams.
Yes, they do. But like I'm saying, for the most part, Pat's stat in terms of like hold percentages and like full 60s and stuff like that is insane compared to the last game.
Yeah,
You're
but
not
the
gonna tell
top
me
teams,
that it's
the top teams.
But I
listen,
don't think it has anything to do with
See,
skill, though.
But here's the problem: is yes, these hills are easy to hold. But you know what it puts a premium on? Being able to break. You know what the top teams have been able to do? Be able to break those hills. For the top teams in hardpoint right now, by win percentage, by average differential, by 50 point, whatever fucking stat you want to pick,
Listen,
or New York, Optic, FaZe, and Toronto.
You can disagree with me.
End of
I'm
fucking story.
I'm gonna stand on my statement until they change some of these hills
Yeah,
because
it's
the way
fine.
the maps play right now are just insanely like.
Everybody's standing
like
on business.
bad.
That's good. Let's
But
lock
Chris,
back into the. Okay, go ahead.
It's
Pat.
the maps. It's not the skill, though. Like,
But that's
I
what I'm
agree.
saying.
I agree.
I'm talking about you not listening. I'm not talking about in terms of like 1v1 gunfights and like, oh, how a guy like slide cancels or moves around the map. I'm talking about in terms of like strategy to break a hill. It's very one-dimensional. And like every team, it doesn't matter how good you are. Once you're put in that blender, you are chalked. It doesn't matter how dog shit the other team is. You can put fucking the best players in the world against the worst players in the
only
world.
difference-
If they rotate to a P5, for example, and they are fully rotated with the other team having a break, their chances of breaking are like this.
okay,
because
but
of
that's
how
not
the maps
skill
play.
gap. That's just the maps. That like I don't
It's just-
understand
it's
your
just the
argument.
maps,
That's
and
just
then-
the maps.
It's
It
just
has
the
nothing to do with
maps, and
skill
puts-
gap.
It puts
All
a
right,
premium.
Yes, that is
It
what
puts
I'm
a pr-
telling you in how the maps play. I'm not talking about the players, bro.
You
talking about
literally
the
said
Yeah, but you're
skill
saying there's no
gap.
skill gap because there's a skill gap
The
in breaking
skill-
then.
the
There's a
skill
skill
it-
gap in breaking
The
then, which is
skill
what we're
it
seeing.
takes, the skill it takes to break these hills is not as high as the skill
right,
it took
all
to
right,
break
listen,
hills in W2.
Dude, Ben, go for a walk. Ben, go for a walk.
Okay, can we switch topics, please? Before
Yes,
Wait,
I'm
hold on,
trying.
Before
Go
we
for a
switch
walk,
topics,
Ben.
I
Go
got
for a
one
walk,
question
bro.
for Chris.
I'm gonna
You
have a
don't play
fucking
the
I got
game.
one
Ben,
question
don't
for
play the
Chris.
game.
I got one question for
I
Chris
don't play
though.
the game. Yeah, okay.
Chris,
Whatever.
Chris, wouldn't by your logic, wouldn't it
Hell
mean
no.
that if the hills are easier to hold in this game because of these maps, then it is harder to break than it was in Modern Warfare 2?
See, that from looking at that perspective, yes, but that's not what I'm trying to prove here. That's not
Tom,
what I'm
take
trying to
Tom,
prove
get
here.
us
No,
Tom.
let's
next,
get us
next topic,
back
Tom.
on track. Let's get us
We
back
gotta
on
move
track.
on, we gotta move
Please
on.
let the host carry the show. Let the host get us back on track here, guys.
I don't think you understand that we're both right.
Chris, I don't think you understand. I'm the host, and I'm trying to get us back on track. So let's get back on track here. I want to talk about Big Wig's play right here because it was dog shit. What the fuck was he doing? What 3v3 situation? You're on defense. Why are they pinching? Why is he pinching here with 30 seconds left? I just didn't like it. He got caught out on the pinch. Now it's a 3v2. Then they get the B-bomb down. Nobody's there for the trade. Lamar tries running through a smoke. He goes down. I just didn't like it. What did you guys think? Terminal defense, I feel like you shouldn't make a play unless you're down in numbers and you have the green light to do something. Right there, I think they should just stay together, stay close
Terrible
together.
play, Tom. And we've seen you will point out another example in a 3v3 where another Rokkr player does the same thing. Like I just don't know. Wick's in a great position to cut off a rotator and maybe make it a 3v2 and they can collapse on the guys on the site. They're planting. I think it's a terrible play.
Yeah, I didn't like that one at all. I mean, Chris, Pat, I don't know what you guys think, but I thought right there was just a little bit of a misplay. Defenses on terminal, like in my opinion, they're just really, really important. Like you have to win your defenses on terminal because of how hard it is to win an offense.
Dog shit play, bro. I mean, like these guys are not very good at search and destroy. Don't really know if I can expect anything better from these guys.
Are you saying there's some sound EQ merchants that are lost without it?
I mean, that's
Might
not what
be.
I'm saying.
I was just wondering.
be.
I was just wondering.
They are they lack on the teamwork aspect in search for
And then
sure.
right here, I thought this was a great 1v1 here from Linz. I like the way he plays it because he gets the info and he ends up playing his life. He wraps around AC, kind of lets the time do the work here, and he ends up sliding around this corner and picking up a big 1v1. Linz has actually been looking pretty good for Rokkr, just like by the eye test, just watching him run around the map and do what he does. Like he's a very talented player. Like he is. He's really good. So big 1v1 from him. This is where Minnesota, they started to, or Miami, excuse me, started to bring some of these rounds, started to win some of these rounds and kind of take this one away. I think this is where Minnesota was able to tie it up. Just an easy defense from them. They're able to tie this shit up at 3. The one that I want to take a look at is the troll round. It's the 4-3 round. Miami, they're on an offense. Again, both teams kind of trading defenses, and these offenses are just really, really important. And this one ends towards the plane. Lamar actually almost clutched a 1v3 here. But just to see how Miami was able to win this offense, they go towards plane, which I think more people on terminal S&Ds should do. I think they need to start playing plane more. Like a lot of people are always favoring that B-bomb site. But you could see how easily it is to kind of break these plane setups. You have somebody from Rokkr was going to be Big Wake, who tried to get pushed up down the stairs, but he instantly gets traded out. And then I don't know what happened here. I didn't like that Vivid jumped down. So like Big Wake gets a kill, and then he gets traded out, and then Reese gives up the plane. Lins runs forward. Like why is Minnesota making the play on defense? Why are they trying to make a play? Like, if anything, shouldn't you just wait for Miami to try and push and make a play and just let them get blended into your crossfire? Like,
So,
what?
Yes, but I'm also going to say I think Rokkr has the same issue that Boston does in terms of their teamwork and the way they like to play. There's too many chefs in the kitchen, bro. There's too many people that are trying to like dictate the way the game wants to be played. They have very differing play styles, and their teamwork is just non-existent. And I feel like this team is, again, just along the lines of Boston, is probably going to be one of the first teams to make a change.
Yeah.
If I was a betting man.
And Lamar almost 1v3'd right there through the smoke. I mean, that would have been crazy if he lined up this second play. He literally snapped on him. He got the first guy, and he tried to snap on the medals and almost was able to take him down there. But again, that was an offense there that Miami won, which I thought was just a really big round for Miami, because they took 2 offenses. They go back on defense. And then I'm pretty sure this is where they were able to close it out and get that W. I think it might have went to maybe one more round or something like that. But Miami, they were able to close this one out and get the win in search. What did you guys think about the S&D? Any thoughts on the map 2?
Oh, bro.
I mean, good plays out of Heretics, absolute blunders by Rokkr, but I mean, it's the Rokkr S&D woes.
I mean, Rokkr
Right
probably
here is
one of
where
the
they
worst
win.
teams. One of the worst teams in search we've seen so far through 2 weeks. Like, I know it's only been a couple series, but
5-4.
they don't seem to have a handle on this game mode. They don't seem to have a stellar map. I know it's early for bread and butters, but I'm really concerned about Rocker's ability to win series, especially against the middle pack teams, if they can't fucking win S&D.
I like this play by Miami to get the pick Esky, and then they wrapped it A. That was a good play for Miami to call game.
I want to bring up an interesting conversation. Listen, I'm not going to make excuses for Lamar's terrible play or terrible plays, at least in terms of like his KD and how he's been playing in the series. But Wake and Vivid, in terms of players, have they ever been a part of like a team that's like very systematic? Or like, I feel like every team that Wake and Vivid have been on in their like past have been teams that are very like scrappy and like unpredictable in terms of like how they're going to perform. Like, I guess the word would be streaky.
No, they've been on teams that play with like with their chickens with their heads cut off.
Okay,
Absolute vibes,
exactly.
sound EQ, Starklet cheese.
Very streaky teams. Exactly. So, like, do you think that is just like their play style? Is that
Wait,
like
hold on.
something that's kind of going to follow?
Sky said in the chat that he was in hell in Florida.
Bro, Reese was in one kind of structured team, like with Ray and Krim on fucking Empire. They did make a final with Reese, didn't they? Like,
yeah, but
he was only on that team for like 2 months, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he
the
wasn't
only
there for a
example.
long time.
and then they got rid of him, right?
They didn't pick him up. It was at the end of the
options
year.
happened, yeah.
Oh, just the conversation I want to have, because like, listen, I'm not trying to like sit there and like star all these narratives, but
No,
it's
say what
something
you want to
that
say,
it's
Chris.
No,
something that
start the
I've
narratives,
watched,
bro.
Like, listen, we talk about how Wake and Vivid, like, they love like their 8s and stuff like that, and 8s are very chaotic. It seems like they thrive in that scenario, but in a lot of these actual matches and team play, I feel like there's just no teamwork on their teams.
Didn't Porter say that Empire team, when they picked up Vivid, just played like an 8s team, and that's why like he hated it?
Yeah, but I'm not. Listen, at the end of the day, I'm not shaming these guys' skill. They're skilled players. I just feel like there's just.
I mean,
like,
there's
no
two
teamwork
parts of the
on
game, though. There's your skill
listen,
and your ability to play play
I will say,
intelligently.
bro, they're good players, but they've shown nothing that they're championship players.
I hate
that's
this
just
play.
a difference.
I hate this play here.
The play is terrible, but like
So-
to finish your
so-
point, Chris, like you can be good, you're just not a championship player in a story.
So you're saying he's a generational 8s player?
I guess. Like, yeah, you can shoot back, but like making decisions in big moments and doing shit as a team and getting better, like, you know, that's what championship players do. We have 3 of them in this call, and then me. So
Just to look at this play real quick, I mean, you see Big Wake in the 8-point right here. He's in the 8-point. He's got a teammate behind him. He's got a teammate on a truck who actually turned around and gave up front. He gets shot in the back. Why is Big Wake challenging like mid-street here? Like, why doesn't he just turn around and just kill the one guy off the point and then just stay alive in point? Like, this guy's just laying down here. Just jump the corner and chow him. Like, if anything, the most important guy that you want to kill is on this point. Because once you're on the point, teammates are just going to be picking up crosses from both sides. That's what you do. You just get on the point and have your teammates pick up the crosses.
Did Lucky get called out? I want to see if maybe he just didn't expect Lucky to be there. Number
I
six,
mean,
number
he
six,
dies.
maybe.
I mean,
No, they knew unless he just didn't get called out. But I agree with you. Probably should have slid close.
It's just super
Yeah.
it's just super chaotic. Like there's so much uncertainty that like Wake's probably just in hill tweaking. Like he sees his guy like they're getting suffocated from pretty much all angles. There's a guy in laundry, guy cafe, guy down the street, guy on the point. Like they just don't know where the attack is going to come in from, and he's just trying to like bail himself out by like doing some like offhanded play.
But it
That's pretty much all
was a
is.
it was a good play from Miami to get in there. I mean, bro, it was a good play for them to just keep flooding this point through front, and them staying alive in this point like won them this round. And I just think, I don't know, me personally, the main focus is hitting the point and staying alive on point. That is always the main focus, because you know your teammates are going to spawn back gas and they're going to be able to pick up your cuts like pretty easily, pretty quickly. I thought that was a big misplay again, just challenging middle for no reason.
That finesse out of Vickle and like the amount of time he buys is the reason why Journey's able to like hit this blind spot. If you watched the kill that Vickle got. But
well, yeah,
it was actually a really good play.
Yeah, I already skipped through because we watched it a few times, but I get what you're saying. And then I wanted to show the next round because the Minnesota Rokkr end up doing the same exact thing back, where they were able to cap A at the last second. And honestly, I don't know where it collapsed here for Miami, because they definitely should have closed it out here on the defense. And I'm curious. I kind of want to watch it back and see what happened, because it shouldn't be this easy to win an offense on invasion, or at least the way that it kind of unfolded. And I'll pull it up for you guys right now and see how it kind of happened. But this was fugazi. I don't know what the hell Miami did here. I don't know how they let this happen. But Minnesota Rokkr, they get the B point. Now they're kind of flooding. They're looking to get onto this 8 point, and you could kind of see how it just all collapsed for Miami. It kind of starts with them just kind of playing through mid, playing through right. Miami were super staggered in their base. So Meadows calls the streak. He gets all the information. Journey's able to find one in Cafe. But then I believe he's quickly traded out, and then that's going to be 2 dead for Florida. So they're basically just taking their space front and mid. And then you can see these 2 players are kind of stuck on point. There's not really much they can go, or much that they could do here, and then they all get taken down. Vivid finds a big 2-piece to the front. What happened with Miami there? What do you guys think? I feel like it kind of fell apart for them here at the last second.
I think Miami just failed to read the pressure. Like coming off that ult, they had no kills. So, and they were kind of all off spawn. So they really didn't like know where the attack was going to come in from. And you're going to see number 1, right? Number 1 and I think number 4, or let me watch a little bit.
Yeah, I'm going to rewind it back to where they start getting in there. Because it starts here. There's one guy on the point. It was Big Wake who was like going big. Meadows was making an insane play here. He was going crazy this series, just constantly getting pushed up in different places, changing his corners with the sub, just honestly just being a nuisance, just being a thorn in the side of Minnesota. And then this is Miami here. So right here, Lucky, he ends up backing up, which, I don't know, might be a better play to just keep pushing and just keep challenging and just try and kill them and keep pressure on that map, like keep pressure on the street. But he ends up backing up. Meadows tries calling a streak. Good play from Lamar to drop the trophy system down. And then I don't even know. They just all kind of died. They're kind of just they're so tight on this 8 point.
Number 5 is the reason why they win this round. You'll see the blinds. If you rewind one more time, watch how number 5 gets in a mannequin. Like he actually just hits like the best possible timing, which number 1 doesn't like read the fact that a guy can even be in there. Journey's obviously the first person to die because he gets a kill. They know where he is. They hunt him down. But look at what happens in number 1. Look at number 5's blind spot. He just sprints through the street.
Number 2 saw him though. Lucky saw him get in there though. They knew he was there. And I think they might have overchowed. Like even from Meadows there, just probably not the best chow there. If you know that he's in there playing a corner, you don't really need to go in there. I feel like you don't have to play for that guy in Mannequin. He's kind of useless in a way.
That's what I was getting at, Tom. Like they just ran in there when they could have just left him in there and just held and waited for him to make the move. So he ends up winning their team that round.
But good plays from Rokkr. I mean, they take advantage of the mistakes from Miami. Thought Miami just I agree with Chris. I just don't think they read the pressure initially, and Miami got pushed up. And then I thought they kind of overchowed people in Mannequin and Cafe that they didn't really need the chow. Just kind of useless gunfights. But Rokkr, they're able to get in there last second. They bring this to an overtime, and then the overtime, guys, don't want to bore you guys. This goes all the way down to the last wire. It came down to lives. Miami, 3 lives left. Minnesota, 5 lives, but with 5 seconds left, Minnesota just ran out of time. They just didn't have enough time to get in there. The lives were about to fall, and Miami, close map. They almost threw it away, but they did get the W. Any final thoughts on a map 3? I hate that map. It's probably one of my least favorite map. I'm not gonna lie.
I mean, it was exciting to watch, though.
It was a
fun
great
to
map.
watch.
I mean, it was a great back and forth. The two offenses really threw me off. That was probably one of the more exciting invasion controls we've seen so far, to be fair. But any final thoughts, guys, on a map number 3? Take a look at the scoreboard here. Great map from Metals. Unbelievable in that map. He was going insane.
It was a great win by Miami, but again, dude, like the thing that I was like talking about, the like gimmicky maps. I think Invasion's of one of those gimmicky maps. It's super defensive heavy. Obviously, they had to do their part to earn that final defense on that round 5, but like I feel like they're just getting by, and it's through some of these like gimmicky maps that they're playing where like certain sides or certain hills are kind of just almost gimmies.
Yeah, agreed. Let's head over to the last.
Wait, before we would you guys say that invasion control is like an AR's that's what they want? Like a main AR should love invasion control,
Yeah.
no?
Wait,
Yeah.
Wait, I
Yeah.
mean,
So-
yeah.
So Rokkr's main AR is going 18 and 30 something, and we're not talking about it.
Did he? He had a bad map. Lamar had a bad map. I would say it's
bad map.
It's between. I would say it favors an AR, but there's still good places where subs could play in that map.
Lamar
Between like
actually got
Mannequin
off-
Cafe, like the middle of the map area is kind of cluttered. I mean, a sub can get it. Like Metals had a sub and he had like 35.
Lamar got off to a good start in that map. First round, I think he was like 8 and something, and then he really slowed down. But
And then this is kind of where Miami was able to put the nail in the coffin. Bro, this map sub base, like trying to analyze and break this map down. I mean, everything just happened so fast. This is old patch sub base that they're playing on. I feel like the new patch is going to be slowed down a little bit because of how far you spawn out.
yeah,
But this old patch sub base, I forgot how chaotic this map is. Like
Bro,
this.
we watched somebody drop a 40, Tom. I'm telling you now, new patch ain't nobody dropping a 40.
Yeah,
Like,
nobody.
What's the
never in a
highest you've
million
seen?
years. In eights, maybe like
say that until
30
someone does it
something,
like
maybe
COD champs
30.
or some bullshit. Like,
Maybe, well, yeah. I mean, like obviously there might be some outliers where somebody goes actual buck wild, but like the way the pace plays, I honestly didn't mind the pace. I think the spawn should have just been a little bit stickier and more consistent because now like people just spawn far as fuck. Where before it's like I didn't mind where people spawned. There was just a lot of like fugays, like flippy things where people would spawn behind each other. I feel like if they just made them stickier, this map would be playing fine with the current like areas that people spawn in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I want to
Go ahead, Ben.
go ahead. I was
No,
just say,
good.
like, dude, like watching Rokkr play this map. I think, like the point that was made about watching this team playing, it's clear that like Reese wants to play one way, Big Wake wants to play one way. We know the way Lamar likes to play. I like some of the stuff that Linz does. I actually think the Linz pickup was really good, and he's had some bright spots. But I just think the disconnect is gonna be too much for this team to really like figure out for them to be like a solid team. And I do think that unfortunately they're very much on the path to making a roster change at some point here. I just think it's unavoidable.
You think so? You think you're already talking roster change with the Minnesota Rokkr, Ben, or what?
I just they don't through a couple series. They don't have a standout game mode. They don't have a standout map set. Like unless they can figure out over the next 3 weeks, they can completely overhaul their team and get better in at least 2 of these game modes.
That's
Like
interesting.
I just don't see how they can be competitive against like your Bostons, your Thieves of the world, let alone the top 4 teams.
I've said it. I love Lamar, but like he just like in terms of like the like his stats and like just like talent ability, like he just doesn't really stand out. And I feel like we're at a point in the league where like you just got a talent stack if you hope to like compete with some of these top players, and then after the or top teams, and then just let them figure it out in terms of the teamwork aspect, which is obviously something I'm still gonna rag on Wake and Vivid for. But like
I don't
feel
even think
like
it's a one-person change though. Like I
Yeah.
agree, get rid of Lamar, but like there's other pieces that gotta move
They
too.
drop
I agree,
Lamar
I
and they
agree.
might turn into fucking Boston, which is they get better online.
They-
They go to LAN and they crumble. Like I just don't.
well, at least they
they-
can put up some wins if they're
I don't
good
think
online.
they'll get worse, bro. But bottom line, I think they just have. This is gonna be a multi-person move.
Agreed.
Yeah, I
Somebody
can
in
see
the chat
it.
said drop Linz. They are absolutely faded. That kid actually has a
I
bright
actually
future.
kind of like
Lens is good.
Yeah, I like
Lens is
Lens.
good.
feel like
I saw
Lens has been
someone in
doing
the chat
his
say
thing.
Vivid and Awakening are still playing like it's 5v5 and low key. That might be it.
Might maybe.
I
But
mean, just,
we were talking about sorry Tom, not to cut you off.
nah, you're good.
We were having an interesting conversation on a watch party yesterday with Scrap, and basically like there are a couple players in the league that are green light players. Like it's essentially probably like 3 to 4 SMGs who have the like license to chow anything, right? No matter what, they're gonna win most. They're gonna win those gunfights a lot. It's like Aid, Kleenex, Simp, and I forget who else. Fucking Scrap said. might have been like AG. But the point is, like, I just don't think Reese is one of those guys. And neither do I think Big Wake is. And I just feel like the disconnect and wanting to play like Lamar's tight setups and that kind of coordination versus like the more like vibey stuff. Like the vibey stuff never even worked against the top team. So
Wait, but
I just don't know.
There's levels to this shit. You
Paco
can't
was the
compare
other person you
Reese.
mentioned.
You can't compare Reese to those people. I'm not saying like Reese is by any means bad, but at the same time, it's like those players are able to do that because their backline, their backbone of their team is so strong. Like, okay, Simp goes out there, Abizi goes out there, Hydra, whatever. They go out there, they make a risky play, it pays off, it doesn't, whatever. At the end of the day, you still have to deal with the rest of the roster that is playing really good Call of Duty and is all talented in their own right. You're not getting that out of like the teams that that these people have been on. Like, I like the comparison, sure, but like.
So you're saying Vivid can't have a license to chow anything because Lamar's his backline, but Simp can because he's got Cellium back there.
It also goes both ways. It's like
That's what it sounds like, Slay.
It's like I just don't think I don't think they're good enough to be on the elite team either. That's the other side of it. Like I agree with what you're saying, Chris. Like they just don't have that protection. They get in issues.
I mean, it's an entire team issue.
But it's like, you know, they've now been, both of them have now been on like a bunch of different teams of different levels. A bunch of them have been on really good but not great teams, and I think that's might be right now where they're just at as players. In a story.
Yeah, you can kind of see. I mean, just skimming through the map when you guys were talking there. I mean, it was just such a back and forth map. This is just how Subbase is being played right now. Every hill just looked the same. It's just gruely trophies flying everywhere, tags flying everywhere, just constant trades. Both teams getting close spawns to the hill. I mean, if you guys want some overs, man, I mean, you'll get a lot of overs in this one. A lot of interactions. A lot of.
You only get it if it's map 1, though, right?
Map 1.
They do map 1 through 3, right? So you can't even do map 4.
No, you can do map 4.
Oh, can you?
Yeah, you can do map 4. I did map 4 today. You can see the Miami guys, they got fucking turned after they won. Bro, I love the passion for the Miami Heretics, too. I feel like these guys just love playing God. They just fucking love it. Huge shout out to them. 40 and 30 from Journey. 32 and 28 from Metals. What a map from those guys. Huge shout out to Miami. Congrats to them on a big dub today. And Minnesota Rokkr. I think they got to go back to the drawing board, man, and see what's going on. Definitely think Lamar can step up a little bit in the kill department. Definitely, I think Big Wake has always been talked about as like that top slayer, top of the line, like superstar player. Definitely think we need to see more from him. I don't know if I really agree with the whole like Vivid not having a green light, should have a green. Bro, if you want to be a good sub player, you need to give your sub player a green light sometimes, bro. Like you can't. I feel like it's weird to be like, this player you could give the green light to, but this player you can't. 100%. Like, bro, at the end of the day, that sounds like this player's a lot better than that player.
I don't think that's the point.
One at a time, boys.
Go ahead, Pat,
I don't think that's the point. I think Vivid should have the green light, but I think Vivid needs to understand, like, for himself when he needs to not chow, and I feel like he doesn't have that.
That's the whole point of being a good sub player. You have to know when to chow or when to play with your team.
It feels like watching him, he just chows every time. He needs to slow it down in the moments that
require.
One of the
fastest players in the league last year in terms of pure engagements.
I will say with even with all the points that I brought up, I don't think like fundamentally their issue, their biggest glaring issue as a team is stemming from like a person like Vivid or that whole green light factor or the eights factor. I think Vivid and Lins are very serviceable in that like sub/sub flex role. I think like you hit the nail on the head, Tom. We got to see more out of Lamar. We got to see more out of Wake if they want to even start to click together. Because right now, this whole like talent over everything play style that it seems like they're playing is just not there at all.
People in the chat are like that's exactly what Hugh does. Hugh's the same way. It's like, yeah, why do you think Hugh hasn't found a home in the CDL? Like he's been bounced around the same way. Like the what differentiates the best subs is those that can play with that green light and know when it's like the right time to turn it off and play for the win. And I feel like that's the difference maker. That's what I don't think Hugh and Vivid have compared to like some of these top players that we're comparing them to.
I agree. You gotta have different paces and know when
you gotta be able to read the situations. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree, bro.
So I think Rocker's in a lot of trouble. Miami. Here's what I'll say, like their remaining schedule is very favorable for them to get probably like 5 wins. If Seattle, Boston, Optic, and LEG left, and they're already on 3, so I could see them winning 2 of the remaining 4, and then they're going to end up being either like the 5th, the 4th, or the 3rd seed. So I really like Miami's chances to stack some points early here and get like a really, really good all out of the split.
Going back to what I brought up earlier, like about Heretics and teams figuring them out because they're playing very new and different for the league right now. Like they're 6-0 in S&D and control right now. Like that's not easy to do. So
That's hard, bro. That is difficult.
yeah. So if you're thinking about like if teams figure them out, and I think Chris, you said it most, like that would probably be S&D. Like series could look way different for them if they're not 6-0 in S&D and control. So
I will say S&D and control, again, go back to my skill thing. They probably take the most skill right now in this game. They take a little bit more individual talent, a little bit more strategy in how you approach objective points, bombs, etc. in comparison to hard points. So at the very least, like they're very good at the game modes that I feel like are going to provide the biggest gap in terms of the CDL for now until I think the maps and shit change and spawns.
Let's move on. Let's go to the next series. We got the New York Subliners going up against Vegas Legion. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. Vegas might get cooked on the flank here. I feel like they made a lot of mistakes and a lot of trolls. And Ben, I know you have a lot to say. But let's take a look at the map. Skid Row, Hardpoint, Skid Row, S&D, Karachi, Control, Invasion, Hardpoint, and Karachi, Search and Destroy. Anything on Avito's, guys, that catches your eye? Anything at all?
I mean, this is a series at least. I'll take it. It's not the same terminals and invasions.
Yeah.
A little bit
I
of
mean,
mix.
in any series I see Skid Row S&D, I roll my eyes.
This Vegas team, listen, this Vegas team last year, we watched Vegas, especially in the beginning of the year. They were a great search team, a horrible control team, but they clutch enough hard points. They would get the 5 and they would close out. This Vegas team this year is clearly good enough to win rounds of search. Can't fucking close. Can't win a control to save their lives. And their hard point, as we've seen with the top teams, they're way far ahead of everybody else in that game mode. So I just think their win conditions are even more narrow than last year. And I don't see it right now. With this
Vegas had a great start to the map. I mean, they got a lot of time on P1 and they had the rotation to P2. So they go up about 80 points to start things off. Then we go over to this P3 hard point. This is where New York was able to get some time. I know Vegas was able to break on in and make it a little bit mixy here, but it was actually Kismet who made the heads up play, in my opinion, when it was going from the P4 to the P5, and I'll kind of highlight it here. So New York, they get to this P4 early. They're able to finally lock down some time and hold a pretty good setup. But take a look at the Bulldog here. Hey, look what he does here. So he spawns in the middle of the map. I don't know if it was top middle or bottom middle. It looks like bottom. And he just turns around with 40 seconds left. Look at where he's going.
New York didn't even get here early. They had to break this hill, right?
Maybe. I was just looking at their road. Oh, yeah, they did have to break it.
And by the way, we should highlight. I think they just pushed through apartments.
Oh, they did.
The map. We should highlight, by the way, that New York had no warm up for this this match because of the
snaking.
The snaking.
Yeah, so apparently because Caesar did throw in a snake and we did red card him, they did blacklist him from warming up before today's match, which is I like that. They're keeping people accountable. So New York, no warm up going into this one. Sky said he will never snake again. Yes, Ben, you're right. New York did break on in there. I don't know why I thought they early rotated that one, but I was just wanted to highlight Kismet's play here. I think this is a great heads-up play with 42 seconds left. He comes off a spawn with 42 seconds left, and he just trusts his teammates. He hits a U-turn, bro. Instant U-turn, turns around, and then look at what he does. He goes all the way in the back to that new hard point, and then you can see Nero. He's going to try and make a play here. He gets caught with his pants down. Nero said, oh, shit. He's already there. Not only is New York Subliners now getting all of this scrap time, but now you got that Bulldog that's holding that next hard point. He's buying time for his team to help him through tunnel. And then this is where New York were able to chain a couple hills, bring this game back. I just thought it was a great heads-up play from Kismet. I thought it was a good play.
It was an amazing heads-up play, but once again, listen, I'm gonna go back to my point about these hard points. If these like good sides and some of these hills were like not truly unbreakable, how many points do Vegas get in this map? Like 180 or something? They got 110 off the rip of the game because of the side they stood on and that P2.
Whoa. They did because New York also, they had bad side and then didn't rotate to P2.
But that's what I'm saying. Like you're banking on them rotating at like 40 seconds almost after the first hit because of how low skilled these hills are. That like if we were playing a normal hardpoint game with normal maps, I don't even think Vegas get 100 points damn near on this entire map because of how much better New York is at actual hardpoint games. Like if that makes sense. Look how they played the rest of this map. You're telling me
I will say,
bro, Vegas. Listen, I will say this: the reason that Vegas lost his fucking map because I watched it live. is because once this lead disappeared, they were not doing shit together as a team. They weren't. They were not staying ahead of the rotations.
If
You will
Vegas
see
don't
on the
get good side, if Vegas don't get good side, they maybe get 100 points on this map. I
you
don't
see
care.
the P3s and the P4s. They were fucking hitting old and not rotating. Like they're not trying to help themselves out and playing ahead of the fucking game. They're just mindlessly smashing the fucking hell.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, dude. I know they trolled, but at the end of the day, bro, I'm gonna stand on my business. If they don't get good side, they get maybe 100 points on this map because of how these hardpoint maps play. The fact that like New York is going down to 100 off the rip of a game.
We gotta listen in for the New York subliners. Let's tune in and see how the boys were sounding.
Tunnel's weak as fuck. I'm not peeking. P5. I'm watching the tunnel. Tunnel weak. Tunnel crossing. Hold. Iron up. Every tunnel guys are all P5. Five for top mid now, okay?
Last guy's P5. P5 right corner palace, corner last guy.
On it, one shot. Crossing, take it. One's ticket, one's P5. Garage Sandy. Garage and one P5. P5 is weak attached. I'm giving up your tunnel's open. Team kill. I'm pitching top. Your tunnel's open. Bottom. No one bottom. He's on the hop up. Hop up in bottom. One's in P3. Yeah. They spawn bottom. One more top. Yeah, they beat Barber behind me. He's back a laundry back. Spawn killing the Barber. I'm playing a light top mid.
Nice one, Garage.
I'm going back. I have a streak. One's playground right now. Purge weak. I'll kill him. No one pitching top mid. Top mid weak. Nice. Good job. Nice. One gold, right? One gold.
Yeah, one's on. On new one shot. Zig.
They're being top mid, guys. They're top mid. You're gonna be top mid and bottom, yeah. I pitched top mid with these. Zig. Nice. They're being green hop. Turning my double door.
Up doors.
Yeah. Double looking for me. One shot. One shot the door, okay? One to green. I'm straight. That's funny. Yeah. I'm nading their shot time.
How many Matt?
Yo, Laundry stun hard. He's stun hard. He's been a pitch.
All right, that's gonna do it for the listening. Thought they sounded pretty good. This is where New York just start running away with it. I mean, they literally just locked down the next 3 hills, which is again, it goes back to Chris's point. I mean, some of these hills you can hold, and I think New York do a really good job of just staying ahead of the game, getting to those rotations early. Ben, I know you said that they were just beating Vegas to every rotation, and I couldn't agree more. It just seemed like New York was just a step ahead of Vegas in the hard point when it came to decision making. And you see here, they were able to bring this one back. They get over to this P4 hard point.
Why is your whole team hitting? I know, like, you got to keep them honest and new and try and pick off players and play the space. We're just like one by one challenging, hitting old for fucking 10 seconds, all 4 of us. If you want to send 1 or 2, like I understand situationally, Vegas just like lost their fucking minds halfway through this map.
Yeah,
they're playing for the rebreak is what it is, because they can't afford to let them like linger off old because it thwarts their entire rotational push when trying to break. New York already beat them at new. Like even if you use numbers, the way these hills are set up, the power positions that some of these have, a 4v3 basically means nothing half the time because of how strong. Like for example,
you should send 4 people. You should send 4 people to do that though.
Those I know what you mean.
Point, yeah.
I'm saying those God steps are like like one guy can basically hold like at least a 3-man push there if he has a stuns and nades, a trophy, blah blah blah. But like, dude, New York outplayed Vegas. I think 90% of this map they won by 50 points. Like that's all I'm gonna say.
Well, I mean, like I said, New York didn't have a warm up. Guys talked about in the interview, like they were in a little bit of a disadvantaged situation, and Vegas won the break, the first hill. Like it was a dream start, but then New York kind of played the pace we expect. Kismet was ratty. Sid was getting into good spots. They could not gun Hydra this entire fucking series.
I mean, bro,
this guy
you're both
had 2
right,
pieces
bro.
all the time.
You're both right in your own right.
I have a question. I actually have 2 points I want to ask. So before we go on to the next map, one, I obviously wasn't on the flank yesterday, so I cannot say this for certain, but I have a source that's telling me that you guys flamed Abuza for rotating early around the same time that Kismet did in this play on terminal yesterday.
We did, but that was a completely different situation.
I wasn't here. Like I said, I have a source.
COD is not black and white like that. It's just a completely different situation. Yesterday, Abuza needed that time, that 60 seconds, and he gave it up. Tried to rotate with 40 seconds, and they lost the game. Like they lost. Like he had no choice. Like he trusted his teammates. They didn't win the fights personally yesterday. And yesterday with the Abuza thing, that was kind of just like, you can have your own opinion whether or not he should have rotated or not. Like, we all saw the play that Abuza was trying to make yesterday when he was trying to rotate. Like, it would have been a good play if his teammates won the fight in plane and won the fight at old. But fact of the matter is, last seconds of the game, if the other team breaks the hill, they win the game, and Abuza rotated really early when they had a potential of losing. This game, New York was down. They needed to chain a hill. They needed to chain 2 hills together. Kismet needed to make that play because they chained 2 hills. They brought the game all the way back, and then, bro, it's just 2 different situations, bro. 2 different situations. You should know that. Come on.
I didn't see the other situation, Tom. That's why I had a source that let me know that potentially y'all were being a little.
Nah, bro. People got to stop looking at COD being like black and white. Like, there's situations where people are going to have to rotate at 50, 40. I heard Adam Assault rotated to a P2 hardpoint on Skid Row as soon as the game started. Like, the game started, and he went straight to P2. You know what I mean? Like, bro, it's just how it is.
Jesus.
Like, COD's not like that. It never has been like that. Even though
my
that play
second
sounds
point-
absolutely terrible.
My second point, and I will say this, we were talking about the Rokkr making roster changes, and I was thinking about it. Like, I feel like if Vegas want to get ahead of this curve, I feel like they should make a roster change before Rokkr or Boston or one of these other teams scoop up this talent and challengers. Because I think we can all agree, like, for Vegas to be competent in respawn, I feel like there's moves they need to make. Like, Nero is so far been way too good to not have more help in the slaying category. And in my opinion, I think they should be very aggressive and planning and almost executing a roster change before other teams come in and scoop up the talent that they otherwise would have gotten.
This is why I think someone's going to make a roster change during the holiday period, because they're going to 400 IQ this. They're going to sit there for a week and a half, and they're going to be like, dude, there's this player we really want, but if we wait till Major 1, these other teams are going to have better pitchers than us, and we're just going to be screwed. So I won't be surprised if it happens, or one of these teams that are clearly bad at all 3 or bad at 2 game modes, and they don't really have upside right now to win an event.
Yeah, big 3-piece there from Paco to get things started here on the S&D. Phenomenal work. And then I think Vegas, they bounce right back on the defense. It goes into the 1-1 round. Big 2v2 here between Hydra and Skies going up against Attach and Standy. A little bit of a weird situation here. Paco was waiting for them to come out to this Abe site. He gets tagged up and sees this guy's Bueno. He tries to get that trade, and then they kind of get stacked on top of each other. So good plays from Vegas there to just kind of play with each other there and stay close to each other, work some trades. They are able to win that big 1v2 right there, or 2v2. So good plays from them. And then the 1-3 round, I thought this was a good setup from New York. I wanted to kind of highlight this because it seemed like the unbreakable. On defense on Skid Row, I honestly feel like there's no point to even play towards tunnel, stairs, or any of that stuff when you look at where these bomb sites are. Like, New York did a really good job just holding this down. Like, look at how they're set up right now. Like, they don't give a fuck about tunnel stairs or Barber or any of that stuff. We were playing wagers yesterday, and my teammates were trying to get Barber, and I'm like, bro, just leave Barber there. Just leave it open. Like, we don't need Barber. We don't need that. I feel like the best thing you could do is just play how New York is playing this right now, which is getting top mid control, having maybe somebody play apartments like close to B just for info, and then just play corners on site like this. And that's what they ended up doing. And I thought Vegas, again, just waited a little bit too long to try and make a play because they end up getting blended here by the subs of New York, just playing corners up here. Good play from Paco to drop the smoke down and dip out of there as well. And with no time left on the clock, New York, clinical defense. I just really like that setup for them, just giving up everything except for top fire and apartments. I don't know if you guys agree with me on that.
I think I agree, and I think the counter on offense is trying to save as many flashes as possible so you can clear those corners and like fire and shit.
I was going to say that the only benefit to getting through that tunnel is getting control of those God steps, because if you get a guy on the God steps, for example, and then have the rest of your team either rotate back or have like a split push towards that like window, you can isolate going through that hallway from the God stairs and going up the window. So you kind of have like a pinch in that like green room that like Kismet was sitting in. That's like the only benefit to having there. But I do agree with you, Tom, that outside of that, if they don't execute on that hallway from both ends, you don't really benefit from going around the back because you're in the wide open. And yeah.
Can you explain to me why you're calling that the God stairs?
Because they're fucking insanely hard to kill off of. Like, people call them God steps. I think even Miles or somebody in the casting one of these days called it the God steps. I mean, it might have been Merc.
Big 1v1 here from Skies, bro. Purge almost clutched a 1v3 in this round. He popped a really nice 2-piece on B-Bomb, had one more guy to work with, and sees this guy's Bueno wasn't having it. He ends up winning that round. That's going to tie them up at 3. And then going into this next round, Vegas, they end up winning the offense here, just flooding through back alley. You see a lot of pro teams liking to make plays with this back alley here. We saw Toronto do it too with the 3 back alley hit, just kind of forcing your way through there, and that's what Vegas did in this round. They just kind of stacked up, hit through back alley, got apartments control, and then of course they won some trades over here by the B-bomb site, and they were able to win this round. So good plays from Vegas. But here's where some trolls come in. From Vegas this round, just to let it play out, show you guys kind of what happened. Paco, he wasn't able to get there in time and shoot him off the bomb. Vegas get the bomb down, and they're able to win that one. Good plays from them. And then this next round, I have a Vegas troll written down here, so I think we should tune in and see what happens. Ben, I think at this point, this is when you really start to lose it. So Purge makes a great play here. He gets confident. He catches a timing onto Caesar Skies Bueno, and he makes it a 4v3 situation. Then right here, Dylan attach, finds one onto Dante, 2v4. Let's see how this gets broken down for the Vegas Legion, because there, in my opinion, there is just no reason that they should be losing this round. First kill is going to come in from Paco, top fire. So it was Nero, who's kind of by himself up there. He gets caught out. And then take a look at that bomb attach. He tries running out plat. Me personally, bro, 4v2 situation, you know one guy's in fire. Let's not even say 4v2. Let's say 3v2, right? Because Nero died in fire. You know one guy's in fire. Bombs down back alley. Why not just ignore the guy fire?
Exactly.
What's the
him,
point? Just let him stay here.
Bro, if I'm Dylan, and he's probably so paranoid, he has no help. He's just trying to catch the timing. I'm just pissing myself in a corner. Attach might not actually have seen if bomb was down. I don't really know if
maybe he didn't know.
They would have known, but
4v2, let him plant. Just let him plant.
Yeah, they were way too spread there.
I just thought they were just so stagnant. They got picked one by one, 4v2 situation. I mean, these are rounds that Vegas has to close out. I'm sure Vegas is frustrated going back and watching some of these maps because they're making mistakes that they just shouldn't be making. Now you have Paco, who's left in a 1v1 here. Last one here is going to be Purge, and he gets hit with the one pump. We call that the one pump right there. Phenomenal plays coming in from Paco as New York is able to tie it up at 4 now. So instead of this being 5-3 in favor of Vegas, this ends up being a 4-4 round. And then Kismet, the New York boys, they love playing corners up here in top fire. It's Paco who finds the first entry here. And then Vegas, they end up getting scared. They back out of top fire. They try making a play through back alley. Dante, he's able to find one. They're able to make it a 4v2 situation. Some trades come down. But last one up is going to be Stan. That's another thing. While Stanley's making plays B with his teammate, the other guy who's Purge is in fire, running around A-bomb. Just seems like they're all on different pages. You know what I mean? What's the play? What's the play call? What's the plan? What do you guys want to do? What site do you guys want to go to? It almost feels like it might be a communication thing, or maybe they're just not clicking with each other right now, because these rounds, they just look kind of lost. I'm going to be honest. They look like they're kind of out of it. I don't know what you guys think.
I mean, they also don't really have the one person on their team. I feel like that. I know Dylan's been around forever, but Dylan was never that style of player that was coordinating and communicating in that way. When you look at their roster as a whole, I feel like they don't really have that type of person where if they're kind of mixy and all over the place, who kind of rallies them together to do a coordinated thing. They kind of feel like their comms are all 8 style comms where it's just 4 guys calling out. You know what I mean?
Wow. The thing we talked about
just like directional comms, no small talking, pretty much.
The issue we all highlighted with their team in the offseason we were afraid of turns out to be true. What an absolute shocker.
Yeah, and this is the loose full right here. Once you get pinched by Paco here, it's chalked. I mean, Purge probably lost composure here. Paco took the super duper long route through tunnel, through Barber, goes all the way around apartments and flinks the guy B stairs. And then boom, they open this up. Last guy up is going to be Dylan attached. I think he's able to get 1 or 2 players here, but he ends up falling. He was left with no time.
Just something fundamental about this map, and you see Vegas fuck up on this a lot, is this map plays very just 4 hit something type of play style, simply because there's not really any crosses on this map that you can exploit to get information and find the person that's isolated on the map. So a lot of the time you're watching these teams 4 hit a lane, and then they find some success, they get through a point on the map, and then they start to spread out, and then they start to get isolated. And that's basically what happened to Vegas in a couple of those rounds that you pointed out, Tom.
Yeah. Any final thoughts, guys, on the map 2, the S&D?
Well, this shit was over because Vegas can't win a control at this point. So, I mean, We loaded to the Karachi, and I knew this thing was insta over. Once that 6
Yeah,
rounds
I mean,
came
they
in.
started off hot. I mean, Vegas come out and they were able to win the first offense. But I'll be honest, after that, it was pretty dominant from the New York Subliners. I mean, we could take a look and see how Vegas did win this first offense. They make plays through red. They make plays through red, make plays through mid. Honestly, I feel like Karachi's probably the most balanced map between the controls, at least in my opinion. I feel like Karachi control can go either way, whether you're on offense, defense, no matter what. It goes to live sometimes. Like some of these rounds be going all the way down to people having 2 or 3 lives. I just really enjoy this map compared to some of the other controls. I don't know if you guys agree with me on that, but me personally, this is the most exciting control map to watch.
I actually think, like, in terms of like the way this map plays, this is probably like the best control we've had in a while. Just because it's not so it's very balanced, and I feel like there's a lot of action. There's not a lot of like ratty spots people can play. It's pretty straightforward. You see a lot of people getting high engagements on this map.
Yeah, Ben, I kind of want to go to you. What do you think is going on with Vegas's control? Why do you think they're struggling so bad?
I mean, on paper, I just don't think they were ever going to be a good control team to begin with.
Jesus.
I just think because their coordination on offenses is very poor. Like control is everything about exploiting offense, then holding under defenses, and they just don't have. I think the team coordination. This map requires some really good quality setting up pinches, unless you get lucky and you get four dead pushing out red, and you can just kind of stack. I just think their teamwork is really poor, and they're not going to have those offensive playmakers to kind of make the plays. You're seeing like one make here, go to the wall, get all the kills, spawn deep, especially if you're not killing people like crossing over to red. It's just one of many examples with Vegas. I think that's just going to struggle in this game, Ed.
You're saying they're getting talent gapped, Ben?
100%.
And honestly, love the play from New York. I mean, we didn't go into the Vegas Legion listening. We don't got to listen to every listening, but I will say in the listening they were talking about how New York is clearly playing for kills because they would send one guy to the point, and then that's it. Even when they had full control of that 8 point and Vegas was chalking it up, New York was only leaving one guy on it. And the reason why they do that is because New York likes to play for kills. And they like to stop the clock and try and drain those lives as much as possible. And as this round plays out, I mean, you could see Vegas's lives. Right now, it's 19-10 in favor of the New York Subliners. And New York know that. They just constantly just throw themselves at the point. It's always the Bulldog, I feel like, who's always just getting in here and just stopping the clock and stopping that time. And then New York just do a good job just keeping that pressure on them. Honestly, like when you have this much pressure on the B site, you just want to keep pouncing on that. Every time you come off spawn, just keep hitting that. And keep winning those trades because Vegas, they just find themselves pushed back, honestly. They were pushed back. They couldn't get anything going. They couldn't get into that point, and it was just good plays from New York to just...
Is that how you play, Tom?
Huh?
Is that how you play? Just keep pouncing on it?
You pounce on it, Slay. Come on, you got to say it like that, Slay. You know what I mean?
That's what you said, Tom.
You know what I
You're
mean?
morons,
No,
bro.
I'm not. Slay, I didn't say it like that, though.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean? But yes, Slay, I was pouncing on it, for sure. I was pouncing
Well,
on
I
it.
just know you were playing a lot of meat on stream earlier. I didn't know if you were playing like that on
Good
meat,
map.
too.
I like meat. It's a good map. It's a great map. But just to get us back on track, I mean, Pat, just to go to you, since you kind of interrupted me there, do you not agree, though, that if you're coming off spawn and you have teammates on the point, the best play is always just to keep that pressure on them and keep the gas pedal down?
Yeah, actually,
and
the
keep
reason I
flooding it.
agree with you, Tom, or the reason I cut you off was because I do agree with you. You were spitting facts, but I feel like at this point, like every player in the league should know that, Tom. Like that's the
Yeah, but Slay,
know,
they don't
us
play.
as-
But a
as
lot of people don't.
champions,
They don't
you
play
know.
like that, Pat. They don't play. Like
I know
that.
it's a problem. There's a
And
lot
also,
of
Pat, a lot of
non-championship
people
caliber
watching
players.
at home who are probably trying to learn don't know that either. You know. Like,
Oh, well,
just
they
the-
have the excuse. I'm talking about the players in the league.
Oh, okay. You're talking about the pro players.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think that's what makes New York really good is their aggression and their pressure. I think Miami does a really good job of it too. Like knowing
But there's
when they
teams
have
that don't in the league.
There's teams that have teams trapped in a corner, Slayer, but they rather turn around and lick a wall than keep them pinned in the corner of the map, and they do nothing with their kills. I mean, I've talked about this in every COD game. There's so many players who get kills and do nothing with them. They get useless kills.
Tom, I know that Hydra's kind of like your son a little bit. You kind of put him on, but I think you could learn something from him.
Me?
Shit.
He's very good at playing with the lights in his eyes, and unfortunately for you, Tom.
Oh
you
my
were not very good.
God. Oh my God.
Oh no.
Chris, you're fired. Chris, you're fired. You're fired. What happened in the next 3 maps, though, Chris? When they fixed my setup, what happened?
Listen, I don't know, bro. I mean,
You
tell
don't
the
know?
story better than I do. You got to
Double digits in the search. What else, Tom?
Double digits in the search. I mean, top fragger in the uplink. And then the 4th map wasn't even close. We bodied him. It wasn't even fucking close. I mean, we know what happened. You know what I mean? Chris, multi-champion, multi-MVP, 4 different titles. How many titles you winning, Chris?
I don't know, like
Not
3
that
maybe?
many, Tom.
Not that many,
Not that
Slay.
many, Tom.
Not that many, Slay. Maybe
Tom,
one or
listen,
two. You know
you're
what I mean?
fired.
You're fired. You're fucking fired. But just to get back on point or back on track here, NYSL, they end up winning the defense. Some people were saying that Kismet was breaking a GA here. I don't know how he was breaking a GA. He was just laying down on a rooftop. But we know how easy it is to put teams in a blender on Karachi defense. All you do is get pushed up right where Kismet is. If you get pushed up here, they're going to spawn right here in the back of the map every single time. If you're not blocking that, then they can spawn close over there, especially after this 8-point goes down. Forgot which series we were seeing, but if you don't get pushed up and you're in bottom red here, and you're not blocking this field area, they can spawn close there. So, honestly, good plays here from the Bulldog just to get pushed up and to get these spawn traps going, because he kind of forces Vegas to have to OE chicken coop. There's really no other play they can make. Or they can try and drop back and try and kill Kismet. But when you look at the setup New York had, they just had everything covered, whether it was chicken, top 3, mid-map, left side. Vegas couldn't lead the spawn, and they got absolutely blendered here. So just really good setup.
Yo, who just ran by Kiz right there?
Bro, I don't know. They didn't see him. He ran right by him. Like, he just ran. It was Eli. He just, I don't know. He blacked out. I think he just blacked out right there.
He's blacked out for sure.
And then the last offense, I mean, the New York subliners just make it look easy. I mean, I'll kind of skim through it on kind of how they were able to do it. But they just win the last offense like super quickly. They do a really good job off the rip, capping the 8-point. They gap it pretty fast, which, I mean, off the rip, the offensive team does get to that 8-point first, so it is a really easy point to get. But I don't know what happened to Vegas after this 8-point went down, because they just got absolutely battered. And just to kind of show you guys kind of what happened, I'll fast forward and show it. And as I'm showing that, any final thoughts, guys, on the series or the map number 3 as a whole? Any final thoughts here?
I just feel like NY was playing with their food this whole time. I think about it. They went down everything, but came back handily. Like
right here.
Does it not feel like they're playing with their food against these guys?
Wait, hold on. We got to call this out, though. Why is Vegas running the wrong way? They're running the wrong way, bro. They just chalked, brother. Chalk that shit. Bro, you're coming off spawn here. They should be going 7, should be going left. Then another guy comes off spawn, I think. 8, he should be going left. He goes straight.
Why are we pushing? Why are we pushing BS3
5,
straight?
he should be going left. He's going straight up the ladder. Number 6.
Jesus.
Does anybody want to wrap back alley or wrap back and try and pick up this cross so New York can't get to B? Like, bro, that's just like, you know what I'm saying? Like, bro, this reminds me of one play in AW with me and Slasher, bro, on Biolab Capture the Flag.
Oh, here we go. That's a good story.
And he was telling me we would spawn out on the OE, but he would want us to wrap back and go defender flag. But sometimes I would like to OE and just push for their flag. And he fucking flamed me for like an hour straight because I OE'd and they pulled their flag and whatever. They won the game, and Austin was like, that's why you always wrap back. So from that point on, I always wrap back. At this point in the game, with 8-point being gone, I am mind blown that Vegas is still running towards bridge and towards mid-map, like mid-green. Unless I'm tweaking here. Does anybody else disagree?
Even then, the people that are like on the red side of the map are just like sprinting like through A, like nobody's gonna be there. Bro, I'm telling you, that is like the most brain fart moment. That moment where like in your head as a team, you're like, all right, it's time to chalk A. Everyone just starts sprinting around like they're like nobody else is on the map.
Bro,
you know what I mean?
You can't
and like
have.
people
Bro,
just
they got basically 2 ticks without anybody even contesting them. Like, bro, I guarantee you, like Dante's sitting on point and he's probably thinking to himself, where are they? Like, where are they? Where are they? Like, are they here? Are they playing? Like, where did
Are they like
go?
going all the way around our spawn, or we bet?
Yeah, like I just don't
fly
understand what the
fucking
play
lava?
was. It's like, bro, if I'm seeing this shit, like, and I know
That is
how
low-key what they tried to do,
Dylan
actually.
is too. Like, if Dylan is seeing this shit, bro, he's got to be losing full, bro. Especially look at Dylan now, trying to get into the point, and he dies right there, last second. It's like, bro, as they're capping the 3rd tick, that was the first time one of them got close to the point to try and jump in there. It's just like, bro, little plays like that, man. Like, B is, you got to get there, bro, and hold it. You're on defense. Like, why are we running forward off spawn instead of wrapping left? And just
I'm gonna be
defending.
I'm gonna want to say it, Tom. Like, if you're Vegas in these matches, you got to bring your A+ execution against a team that's got more skill than you. The way you're gonna beat them is have better teamwork, force them to make mistakes. because you're playing discipline on the map, and then you can kind of explore your positioning to win it. Oh, because they have more skill. This Vegas team is never going to do that because they have no leadership, and now they're starting to lose. They looked so good in that first series in Search, and since then, like they just cannot finish an S&D. If you can't win a control, you're not going to win a fucking series. Like, I mean, this is Vegas's remaining schedule, and you tell me if there's wins here. Ready? Because you guys are about to laugh.
No.
There are remaining 3 games. Optic, FaZe, Toronto. Are they winning any of those games?
Hell no.
Probably not.
Maybe the Optic one, not the other 2 for sure though.
They're going 1-6, bro.
That one's tough. That's a tough schedule. I don't know if they're gonna be able.
Bro, they had Rokkr, Royal Ravens, and Heretics. If they had won 2 of those, maybe you get a chance. You squeak one more win, 3 and 4. But the toss against Carolina was bad. The tosses against Miami in the series before this were pretty bad, and they were not competitive against New York. They are in real trouble of starting a losers bracket right now.
All right, let's hop into the next series. Obviously, Vegas, they fall short. What's the record now, Ben? Vegas?
1 and 3.
Okay, so they're 1 and 3. So a tough start for the Vegas Legion. They're gonna have to bounce back, but tough schedule ahead. And then the New York Subliners looking good. Again, another W under their belt. I definitely think when we watch them play, they got a lot of slaying power, and they're working really well off one another. So congrats to them again, New York, continuing where they left off from last year. But let's hop into the 3rd series of the day. The last series was an absolute snooze. So let's lock into this one and give her thoughts. We got Atlanta FaZe going up against the Seattle Surge, starting things off on a Karachi Hardpoint high rise. Search and destroy, Karachi control, Invasion Hardpoint, Invasion Surge. Any thoughts on the vetoes or the picks or anything at all? I didn't really like FaZe playing high rise. I just think with FaZe's talent, they should play a map that's less fluky, less explosions, more straight up maps. I just thought it was a little weird that they were playing high rise.
Well, the
It's
problem
either
is
high rise or terminal. You got to choose one.
I mean,
Yeah.
I know Abe hates terminal. I know he hates it,
so
but
it's high rise. It fucking
you're
is
also
then,
a
'cause,
BZ,
like,
brother. Grab an MCW and go mid hall and have a field day, bro. Like, go have some fun. Like,
It's one or the other. It's Surge picked Team B, so they're gonna pick the fucking first Surge. So
yeah.
I like the double terminal ban. I said it after the first week. I think Seattle, they caught a lot of people off guard. They're still a pretty good team, I think. But I feel like they were going to start to balance out once people started getting wind of them, liking terminal, and
Put
they
them
just got rid of them both. So
on Karachi and Invasion, and a difference in this series was the lack of discipline hardpoint from Seattle in this
Agreed.
map and in the last hardpoint. I know they also got slammed in the control, but like you're gonna watch a situation like the big P3 break that happens on the second piece of this map.
Yeah.
Is basically the game. So go ahead, Tom, if you want to walk us through.
Yeah,
it.
I wrote down the second P3, so we're definitely going to take a look at that. But, Ben, I couldn't agree more. I mean, through the first, series of rotations, first series of hardpoints, FaZe just beat Seattle to every single hardpoint. I just felt like Seattle was always chasing the game. They were always trying to break hardpoints rather than just trying to lock down some good time and rotate and get full 60s. And that's just kudos to FaZe. Just beating them on rotation. Just that decision-making, the routes that they were taking. They were just constantly beating them to those hard points. You could kind of see as we close in here and go into a second set, FaZe was up about 60, 70 points going into the next rotation of hard points. So it was a good job from them. I want to go into the listening with Seattle Surge and see how the boys are sounding. And then we're going to take a look at that second P3 because I think that's where the game ultimately FaZe was able to win it. So let's tune in to Seattle and see how the boys were sounding.
On me, office.
One of these, nice. But downstairs on me, downstairs.
Front, weak.
Bitch, I get time.
It could be close.
Another wave.
Guys, one here.
On the back, on the back.
Wait, I think there's 20 behind. Yo,
Okay,
Inter,
okay.
can you play new? I'm gonna help
Yeah, I'm winning, bro.
I think they're pushing.
I'm not
Yeah,
picking.
one main.
Yeah, I have your main. Okay, I'm coming back. I'm coming back. They're definitely gonna get
Office in top plat. Office in top plat, bro.
Okay, I'm dead.
Yeah, I'm not sure if he's in there.
Nice,
Hey,
top.
we're missing one.
Yeah,
We're missing one.
twin node. We good.
That's us too. Can someone help me on the right or no?
Yeah, I have your bottom, okay?
I'm back left. Yeah, I got time.
I'm holding top red.
I have your
Top
bottom.
red, dead.
Nice, I have your bottom, bro. You can do
Holding
whatever
top
you
red,
want.
I'm holding
Yeah,
Top
you
red,
good.
top red. Top plat going jumping in the red.
Okay. I'm holding red. Red, sell absolute red.
Two in red then. We're gonna need that on the right, guys.
Yeah,
I'm helping red. I'm helping red.
Top enemy. But I'm dead. One more tap on me.
I hit him with the
Two. No, it's me, bro.
Mid lane.
Bottom right. Two on right.
Yo, he just pushed.
I spun the
He's back.
face,
Aim's in the back. Aim's in the back.
Draws the one shot. I got flanked from the back door as well.
Sell
Yo, Draws is on. Draws is mid lane.
MC,
I spawn bridge.
Okay, so I want to pause the listening there, and I want to rewind that back because it did happen in the middle of a listening here. First and foremost, what a break from Atlanta FaZe. Second off, I definitely think Seattle, that was a troll there. Like, if they're able to lock down this P3 hardpoint, they should be able to bring this one back. And we talked about P3 and Karachi being one of the hardest hills to break. I just thought that they might have been pushed up a little bit too much here. I don't mind somebody being pushed up here, but they had two guys. They had Hook and Abuza pushed up red with 4 seconds left of hold. Me personally, I don't like it. I think they should be a little bit tighter. I think they should be closer to... I would like to see one of them make this play, but maybe not both of them. I don't know what you guys think on that. But Kyler, he ends up spawning in the back, and then he gets caught with his pants down. Like, even here, like, as soon as Kyler spawns here, I don't think he should be challenging. I think he should just play a corner.
Yeah,
like,
Creddy up, just holding.
Yeah,
angle.
like you already were pushed out. You already died. Like you made the play. You stayed pushed out. You died. He got the back spawn. Like he spawned in the back. Bro, use your head glitches. Like use the things to your advantage. Like right here, Kyler just needs to stay alive. And then he instantly goes down. That's twice now that Kyler died. And then the guy on Hill now, Arcides, imagine what's going through his head. He's getting swarmed from like 3 different lanes. So it's like...
Tom, it goes back to that same argument we were making with Vivid. Like, you got to know when to slow down and play your life.
Agreed.
Like, you don't just got to chow every gunfight, every life.
Agreed.
There needs to be some discipline on this.
Like
Seattle
right here,
roster.
imagine if Kyler, I'm pausing it right here, just that can right there just stands there and just head glitches right to his right. You'll see it right there. Boom, that little can right there. Like just hold it right, just hold the head glitch. Or hold an off angle and pick up free kills. They're gonna run right in front of you, literally. So he ends up dying. Abuza ends up spawning out, and that's why I don't really like having 2 guys pushed up, because theoretically Kyler got lucky by spawning in the back. Like if FaZe got pushed up just a little bit more, there is a potential where Hook spawns out there as well. I know those spawns are pretty sticky, so for the most part, you do get those back spawns because they are sticky, but there's still potential of you spawning out, as we saw with Abuza right there as he spawned out. But right there, a little bit of a misplay from Seattle, just or a lot of it. Thought it cost them the game there. That was an important rotation for them to bring it back. They were bringing the energy and the listening, and they overchowed on the rotation, and it ended up hurting them, which might be a problem with Seattle Surge overall as a whole. Is overchown. It might be a problem for them, but go ahead.
The thing is though, like that's a reason why they're good at like Terminal Hardpoint. Terminal Hardpoint is a map where like discipline is like a given, just because of the side of the like it's just the way the map plays.
You have
there's
to.
No like
there's no other play you can make.
There's no place to overchat. Yeah, exactly. There's no other play like on Karachi, which is I think probably our best map right now with like in terms of decision making, and it's like there's a lot more maneuverability and strategy to how you want to break these hills. I feel like you actually have to make these conscious decisions. And right now, like you're watching Seattle just constantly make the wrong one.
Well, then my counter to that then is if you're Seattle, you got to get good at sub base or Skid Row, because then people are just going to make you beat them on Karachi and Invasion if you don't want to play Skid Row and sub base.
Okay, well, listen, bro, me personally, I don't know how you guys feel about this, but I hate what Ben just said right there. I hate when teams are just like, we just won't play this map and we'll just go play this map, right? Or like we will.
No. You're misunderstanding what I'm saying though. I'm saying the teams are going to be at terminal against them. So the problem is that if Seattle doesn't want to play Skid Row or sub base, they're playing Invasion and Karachi in every one of these series, and I think it does not play your strengths as a team. So in my mind, knowing how Kyler and Abuza play, Skid Row and sub base might be better chows. And I know it's tough to play those against like an Atlanta FaZe. Is also their strengths, but like you go down the Karachi and Invasion round, you see what happens.
I get what you're saying, but in my mind, there should never be a map that you don't want to play amongst your team. Like if there's a problem that your team is having on a map, like you need to bring it to the table and figure out why you're having a problem on it and make sure it's a map that you clean up and fix. Like right there in Karachi, like Seattle could have won this map if they didn't make some of the mistakes that they made. Like it's even right there with Kyler making that mistake. Like that is something they got to go back to the VOD, watch, and realize, yo, we can't do that anymore. Next time, we got to do this, and this. And this is why they practice every day, bro. Like, and Ben, maybe not so much to your point, but there are teams that have auto vetoes or don't play certain maps. And it's like, bro, I get it early on. There's always going to be strategy. Like, if you're better at other maps and certain maps, like, you're going to want to play your better maps. Of course, there's strategy to it.
If you don't do that, you're going to run into series where you literally are just going to lose off the maps you
get. 100%.
Eventually.
Bro, all I'm saying is there should never be a map that you chalk up. You should always want to try and improve on a map, and that's why pros scrim every day. And I hate when pro players or pro teams just chalk up certain maps, which has happened in the past.
What I'll basically say is, so I'm looking at Seattle's videos right now. They banned either Skid Row or Subbase in 3 of the 4 series they played. and in 3 of the 4 series they picked terminal hardpoint. So I agree with you, Tom. I don't like auto vetoes. I especially don't like auto vetoes in 2 game modes because that severely limits your upside. If you got one map you suck at, you can kind of work around that in a 5-map hardpoint pool. But I just think like people are clearly, to Kirsten's point last week, they're targeting the fact that take Seattle off a terminal and make them beat us on other maps. And Seattle now needs to adjust to getting better at the rest of their pool, especially in hardpoint.
Fortunately for them, the spawns are changing, so the way these maps are going to play is going to change, and maybe teams' map pools will shake up as we see.
People are not going to want to play terminal even more, so I actually don't know if it's going to change for Seattle.
I think the spawns got worse on some of these maps. I think terminal got worse. Subbase is shit on both patches. It's shit on both, to be honest with you. I think we're gonna have to add some new maps into the rotation next set.
I think Karachi might have got worse, and that map is probably the best map we have right now. And now that it potentially got worse, I don't know, man. Hardpoint's looking a little sketch right now.
Yeah, well, just to talk about the search and destroy, Seattle, they start things off really hot in the high rise S&D. I felt like both teams were definitely favoring the B bomb site. I feel like the A bomb site was kind of useless. Like, people don't really play towards it. If anything, you see people go A like late round, like mid round, late round. Like if it's like a 2v2 or like a 1v1 situation, then you'll see people starting to play there. But for the most part, teams are just horking their attacks and getting B control. And I think also you got to adapt. Like, I don't think it's a good idea to just straight give up B. But if you don't have trophies, especially as you can see right now with a BZ, you have to be careful on that B site. You can see what happens. Seattle Surge, they pretty much make the same play. They throw their attacks. They get a BZ off of that site. They get control of it. And then Draws, he's left here trying to make a play here. He ends up getting taken down as well. Good job from Seattle. They end up going up pretty hefty here. They go up 1-3, and then things start kind of falling apart for him. I know FaZe was able to bring this one back and tie it up at 4, but the last 2 rounds were a blender. They went by in like 20 seconds, so we'll tune in and kind of see what happened there. But this round, good play from Abuza. You can see Hook, he's on that B bomb site. He's trying to deny the B push. Hook and Illy, they find one, but it's Tyler Abizi who's able to get the trade there. So it's a 3v2 situation in favor of Seattle Surge after a few trades go down. And this, in my opinion, was a big round. Abe, he was by himself. Again, just good discipline from Seattle to just win this defense, to kind of stay back in their windows. I mean, personally, guys, I don't know how you guys feel about this. This is definitely a defensive-heavy map because one bomb site is completely just out of the picture. Like, how do you even get the bomb down A?
It is, and on top of that, like, the bombs are just not, like, they're in spots where people can pretty much see them from pretty much anywhere, or there's just a lot of ways, like, in, like, places that you can deny bomb. I was actually going to point out that I feel like this map is like TDM. I feel like you rarely see bombs go down unless people have, like, severe man advantages, or they're, like, in clutch situations where they're, like, in a 1v1, 1v or 2v2 or whatever. But for the most part, even when they picked the BZ on that round, you saw Abuza just tuck himself in a new corner. They didn't even plant. They just waited for somebody to end up trying to deny bomb. They caught Draza with his pants down. I feel like that happens a lot on this map where you're just essentially playing TDM.
Yeah, somebody in the chat said
they should get rid of this map.
Yeah, I don't like this map either that much. I mean, they like it though. The pros like it. Somebody in the chat said every map is defensive heavy, and I don't even disagree with it, to be honest, with Oblivion. Yeah. I agree. I feel like a lot of maps are defensive heavy.
That's how MW2 maps were like designed though. Like defense like mattered a lot, and winning those Ds was super important. And you're seeing it now play on MW3 as well.
But FaZe, they started to bring it back. I mean, they started to adapt. I mean, look at the play call from FaZe here. They just straight up just rushed through A. And I don't even know how they were able to do this. So Arcees, he kind of gets distracted here. And Tyler Abizi gets some help from Simp there, and Abizi was able to get into their base like within the first 20 seconds. So good play there, and then he jumps on Hook's head. He's able to find another one. So just quick round here. I like the different looks from FaZe because this is when they started to bring it back. So good play call there, just running through blue and getting control of A. As soon as that A bomb goes down in a 3v1, I mean, that one's pretty much all she wrote. And then take a look at the spot here from Abizi. Have you guys seen this spot yet? So if you guys are playing at home, man, and you guys want a cool little spot that you can show in wagers or something like that here in Surge, check out how Abizi gets here. So he jumps on this little pole here, almost gets naded, And he's just going to stay alive here. And then what happens here is he can pop up and jump over this wall at any second. And that's what he does. He gets the info from his team that, hey, they're in B. He looks over the wall. Kook, see you later. Wonder what was going through Kyler's head right there when he got shot in the back there. But great little spot there from Abizi. Phenomenal.
That's a god spot. You can't even like check it from anywhere. You have to like fully overextend it or ground. Even if you go top heli and like jump up a little bit, you're pretty much wide in the open. So that spot will probably see a lot of use this season just because of, I mean, it's just hard to like get him off it.
Yeah, really good plays. And then honestly, after this, the next 2 rounds by FaZe, they got smoked. FaZe got horked on these next 2 rounds. They weren't even close. They tried to challenge through B and through mid, like underground, and they instantly died in this next round, the 9th round, kind of a 4v2 right off the rip. Don't know how Jazza didn't get that kill. Felt like he shot Illy a lot there, but good shots from Inder. Inder's been absolutely shooting. And then we go into the last and final round. This is where Seattle was able to close it out. Guys, any final thoughts on the S&D? Good plays from Seattle.
No, Seattle are big S&D grinders, and they look pretty far ahead on this map. So I thought it was a good effort in the regame after the hard point. It did get a little bit close, but Seattle needed this one to stay alive in the series.
I agree with Ben.
Pat, any thoughts on the map number 2?
I just hate that map, Tom.
Yeah, you don't like that map, Slay. You don't like the explosions. It's kind of fluky. I didn't like when FaZe. As soon as I saw it, I was like, I don't like FaZe playing high rise.
I wonder.
Bro.
I will
High-rise
say
is
that I
fucking
wonder
ass.
if that spot is intentional. Like it looked like he mantled on nothing. So I wonder if that will get
Patched by the developer.
Yeah.
It might get patched. I mean, I haven't seen it till today. I didn't even know that spot existed.
He mantled on the middle pole. What do you mean?
Nah, if you watch it, he mantled on the right side of it. Like if you go back and watch it, like he mantled on nothing essentially.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. But I mean, that just happened with high rise. That's why that map like isn't as good anymore, in my opinion. Is the mantling created so many like unintended like spots and lines of sight that like make the map worse, in my opinion.
Oh no, a little Clayster fucking reference right there. Unintended sight.
Want to go into the control? Karachi control. Back-to-back defenses were won. First offense, FaZe wasn't really doing this, and I was like, I don't like how they're playing this, how they keep playing through front and mid. But then the next offense, they ended up doing it. I love when people make this play on offense. Like, they play through left, they try and play for these spawn kills, and then once they get these spawn kills, they start making a play to the point. You see what happens, like how FaZe works it. This was a flawless break. They have 2 guys slow playing red, trying to find kills on their side. They have 1 guy, MC, taking a long route, spawn killing. And then they have a BZ who took a route as well from their spawn and hit up right up the mid alley, right through that back alley. They're able to get onto the point, and it's pretty much just flawless here. And then MC is able to get a couple kills here through this back lane. You can see Seattle, they're kind of just swarming that back lane. There's nowhere for them to go. Atlanta FaZe is stacking the hill. That was just clinical from Atlanta FaZe. I thought that was perfect. I think that is literally what you want to do. I think every team, when they want to break the same point, we've seen a few people do. I know even yesterday in the Optic match, people were trying to set this up. But in my opinion, this is the right way to cap B. Get pushed up left, funnel them into their spawn, work a spawn kill or 2, and then once you work those spawn kills, you collapse on point and try and cap the point.
It's funny, Tom, because their first offense, they most certainly did not
They
do
didn't
that.
do it. They kept
They were
going
just
front,
flooding red.
and I remember us watching. We were like, man, they're
We're
just trying to
losing it,
flood
dude.
from front. Which I mean,
Any
listen,
crumbs of someone going around, please. We were asking. We were
yeah,
begging.
you could flood through front, but it's gonna be really hard to find kills. People are gonna be cornered up, and you're gonna get funneled there. And there's a lot of crossfires. There's just a lot of ways. You make things a lot more difficult for the other team when you're coming from different lanes and you're working pinches like that. Because now you're making the other team think. You're making them kind of spread apart. You're keeping them stagnant, and it helps a lot. So good routes from the FaZe guys.
They also spawn closer, right? Like you get those kills in red, and they're just gonna reinforce quickly. You're not getting the deep diagonal spawn.
Yeah, but good round there. They end up winning the offense, and then FaZe, they go on the defense, and you can see how they're setting up what we were talking about in the last series with the New York series. You saw Kismet doing it, and now you see Simp doing the same thing. We see Shotzi coming here a lot, right? Like coming to this spot right here. This is just what you want to play. This is clinical again from Atlanta FaZe. Get mid-map control. Get top 3 control.
Bro, like that's what I'm saying. He's literally one shot running into mid-map and decides to jump chow back.
Yeah,
a guy on a heady.
He's crazy. He's nuts. He's just overchowing. They're overchowing everything. FaZe is getting free kills. I mean, this was a blender as well. Seattle Surge, they just kind of get pinned back in the spawn, and you can see the lives, how they're slowly going down. Atlanta FaZe, as you skin through it, continue to hold that map control, and Seattle Surge didn't really have an answer in the control. They were kind of getting blended here by just the slaying power from Atlanta FaZe. So good map from Atlanta FaZe, big offense from them. And then they go on and win the defense with ease. Honestly, they won the defense pretty easily. So 2 defensive wins, clinical offense, and FaZe was able to win the control. Any final thoughts on the Karachi control map 3, guys?
They didn't even use like half the streaks they earned after like the middle couple rounds.
Yeah, they didn't need to.
So they just mega outslayed them in the middle of this map once we got through the first 2 rounds.
Yeah, and look at the live count here, 20-7 in terms of the lives. I mean, that's what happens when you set up these spawn kills, these spawn traps. Like, you can really dwindle people's lives down. Take a look at the final scoreboard. Everybody negative except for Hook on the side of Seattle Surge. And then on the other side, everybody positive except for Simp, who's only -2. Fantastic plays from FaZe. Any other thoughts on that one, guys?
They got bullied.
Pride, man.
Dude, there's negative and then there's
22 and 12.
It's not like they're 1, 2, 3 kills negative. Like they got slammed kill wise. And then we went into this map, and again, from my perspective, I think Seattle in the second rotation had some terrible setups, which cost them the ability to get back in this one.
Yeah, we'll go back and we'll watch some of this stuff. First and foremost, Simp. I mean, he starts off this map just hot, bro. Super hot. I don't know what's going on with Simp, what he's eating for breakfast, or what's going on, but he's in his bag this game, bro. That's what Joey D said, Joey DeLuca. He said this guy Simp is in his bag. I mean, I'm curious to see what you guys think. I feel like Simp has been insanely good for Atlanta FaZe. He's been unreal.
He's the best flex in the game. I will say it. Sub AR doesn't matter. And literally, we were talking about early in the offseason with the potential roster moves that FaZe could make, and we were talking about, oh, Simp could transition to an AR. I think like this year, he's further proven that point. Like, this guy's deadly with every single gun. This is going to be a legacy year for him if he keeps up this pace.
And then I also want to note these spawns here from P2 to P3. Watch this. Watch where everybody spawns. Watch this. So first Seattle Surge, they get the Palace spawn, right? Then Simp spawns right there next to him. Look, he spawns right next to him in Palace.
Bro.
And then Simp reads it. He turns around, he finds 1, finds 2. He ends up getting 2 kills before he falls. And then number 7, Illy, he's on the other side spawning out. He's trying to run for his life. So pretty much just people spawning everywhere. But kudos to Atlanta FaZe boys and Simp. They actually did read him, though. Like, Simp knew that they were spawning close on him. So a little bit of a weird spawn there. Not sure what the fuck was going on there. I don't know if you guys have anything for that, or if there's anything you think why that happened. I can't tell you why that happened. They spawned on top of each other. Looks like the game just broke.
It gets worse in the next patch.
Hey, you said it gets worse on this map in particular, or
it gets worse because so like the new spawns, instead of spawning on that street by P4, you actually, one team spawns mannequin, and then the other team still spawns on that wall. And like, if you just like hang back towards like DVD, and you're that person that's kind of blocking it, if the enemy team aggresses through like mid map, they're also contesting that mannequin spawn, and that's when you start getting these spawning on top of each other fortress spawns again. Like, it's really weird. They didn't fix that problem at all with the new patch.
Yeah, no. We'll see what happens when a new patch comes to life. But then you see Atlanta FaZe, and this is kind of where they were able to chain some hills together. So they do a good job here getting Scrap on P4 with Simp again, who's on a 4 spree, 17 and 7, who gets into that hard point and was able to pick up the last 20 seconds there. And then Illy, he's by his lonesome here in Palace, and there's really not much you could do when Atlanta FaZe is breaching doors together. Did Seattle have
an opportunity to back up, Tom, or did they just...
No, they spawned out, Ben. They spawned out.
They spawned out. Why did they spawn out? I'm actually curious.
Because Atlanta FaZe is holding the good spawns.
They're holding the good spawns. Okay, continue.
Yeah, from P4, FaZe was fighting from good spawns the whole time. And at the very end of it, you can see Seattle. They're trying to get in here. Simp, he goes crazy. He finds a bunch of kills. He ends up going on a 4 spree here. He finds a big 2-piece to open up the window. And then he comes here through this door, finds one, and continues to get some kills here. Just good plays from Simp to get in there and pick up that scrap. Because not only do they get the scrap, then they breach the door here. They take care of Ender, and FaZe are able to lock down a couple hills here and really build that lead that they had. So good chain here from Atlanta FaZe. Good plays from them. And then, Ben, I want to go into the second rotation because this is where you were seeing some things. You said that there were some problems here in the second battle. I have some things written down.
From my end, like, I will say Seattle did a good job on the P1 here to get back in this. They then got a really good chance, I think, because they flipped spawns. They got the P2. So it was like, okay, well, Seattle's got a chance. I think that the trolls really start happening with the P3. If you want to skip to the P3, there's a setup that they have on the P3 where legitimately they're all holding back gas. And I would love to watch that through so we can figure out how to end up in that situation and like what the thought process was.
Okay, so you thought Seattle was holding back gas? Second P3?
Well,
So
like,
I'm
the
here
whole
in the
team ended
second
up in the back
P3
right of the
now. You
corner.
can see P2,
Yeah.
FaZe, they're holding the scrap. The first guy there is going to be Simp. He's the one coming from back gas. He's able to find a big 1v1 there. Not sure why Hook didn't play for that kill. Like, bro, look at this. Like, Simp is pushing from gas. He kills a guy's street, and Hook is on the fire car, and he can easily trade Simp right here. Like, he could easily trade him. And then he runs the opposite direction into Cafe and just ignores him. Hook tries to play cuts, like, mid-map, and then he gets into Mannequin. He finds one. Simp all by himself. And then this is where Seattle were able to work the break. And Ben, where did you find a problem here with Seattle's setup?
It's what happens at the end of this hill, the last like 20, 30 seconds.
Okay, so Seattle, they do a good job breaking this and getting in here. They worked good pinches. Hook got a kill mid-map.
It's a backup. You missed it by like 15 seconds
No, I see
earlier.
what you're saying. I see what happened.
Yeah, so I like, they have two guys in hill, and then we're playing this gas corner. Like, we're watching. I guess the thought process in the setup is we have two guys in hill, so we can theoretically trade and kill where they slide through. Number 5 sitting in our spawn and Alec have the close side cross. I just don't know if this tight setup is like.
I mean, realistically, it wasn't bad. Like, playing tight here, there's not much they can do. But I think Alex should be watching back Mannequin, and I think number 5 should be watching the back door. And then I think they should just hold that crossfire. Like, the guy in the back gas can't get flanked or can't get shot on the side.
They're both watching the same lane. I agree.
Yeah, they're both watching the same lane. Nobody's watching the pinch. And then you see MC. He's going to run right through Mannequin. He kills the guy in the head glitch. And then he slides out and he takes care of Inder on hill. And then bada bing, bada boom. Atlanta FaZe, they get the scrap time. And then while all of that is happening, you already have a Beezy who's set up at the next hard point, who's ready to lock this down. This guy interesting towards the end.
Because they couldn't kill Illy, number 7 on this fucking sequence. Go ahead.
Well, because Seattle end up flipping the spawns, and it starts with this play here from Hook. Great route from Hook here. I love what he does here. So Hook, he makes a play through mid-map. He knows Atlanta FaZe is coming from Ice Cream, and he just makes the play. He finds a timing, hits through Dark, finds a big 2-piece, maybe a misplay from FaZe, not picking up Dark. And then that instantly flips out the spawns for Seattle. And I think at this moment, this is where I was like, uh-oh. Illy was sitting top broken. He was doing a good job laying down some shots and making sure nobody from FaZe can get to that hard point. But FaZe can't win here as Seattle rotate the Palace. But let me tell you something. Somebody got fucking shit on. Draza and Ben, I know what you're going to say.
Please pause.
Why are people just waltzing through courtyard not being seen? Yeah, no, I agree.
Rotating early. And we are not even holding our side of the map, bro. We are asking for them to slide on and make plays.
Agree.
And when you were playing a team that's simping at BZ, we saw this yesterday. Like, it makes me lose full because you're just asking to just lose the game here. They have an opportunity to lock down a 60, and the P1s were good. Like, they had a chance to make a comeback here.
Running up mid and getting to that
without getting shot is insane.
Without getting shot is fucking unacceptable.
Yeah, and I watched this fight by Draza here. I think it was Alex. Sorry, Alex. It happens, bro. But he jumps down. He's this little front slide. It just absolutely poops on him. Phenomenal plays. And then this is ultimately what lets FaZe win this map. Like, they were able to get in here and kind of contest some of this time in Palace because Seattle could have went on a run here and just held this full 60 on Palace and been fine. But Atlanta FaZe, you have Simp here who's picking up this last bit of time. He's able to get a few more, or able to contest there a little bit. Seattle can't win there. And then we pretty much go back to a third P1.
Can we back up really quick? I want to figure out who was actually like. I want to see the setup where they all stood through middle. Where actually was everybody on Seattle?
Well, one guy was playing Ice Cream side. One guy was in Hill. And then I think the biggest thing is Hook is kind of running around here by this head glitch here. I mean, they weren't really watching anything.
Go back to earlier because FaZe has to get all the way up through mid-map.
Wait, yo, did Alex's controller disconnect right there?
Back when the hill finishes, when P4's finishing, I don't know where everyone is on the map.
You're saying because he's sitting Ice Cream?
What is Alex doing, bro?
Yeah, I don't know why he's licking it over there, Ice Cream.
Wait, was Connor actually top? Like, dude, there's so many trolls in this sequence.
Wait,
we have to, like,
can we go further
do a
back?
forensic analysis here, and
Can we go a little bit further back, like just before P4's ending? Like, I want to know what Seattle's doing. Okay, so yes, P4 is gonna end here in a second.
Nah, his controller disconnected,
they got
bro.
everything right now. Vision everywhere. 7's on the wall.
Abuza is the one person here who needs to hold what he's
Number
doing.
Number
Right?
5. What is number 5, brother?
Yeah, I don't know what they're doing.
It takes him like 3 years. Okay, he gets on this wall. Wait, he's here.
I mean,
does he get back down?
They stun check it. They know they're there.
He knows he's there. Yeah, he backed down. I mean, he has a
There's no
sub. He's
coordination.
trying to
There's
hold
no
man.
Someone's got to pick up the street. I mean,
no.
Abuza does get a pick, but like at that point he's surrounded. They've just kind of let them slide on them.
I think Hook might be getting like stun-nated or something because he's like looks like he
He
gets
is.
back
He's
down.
getting
But like,
stun-nated.
bro, there needs to be some like
Bro.
coordination and communication there
Yeah,
from
I don't know
Hook
what.
and Abuza to
Kyle,
Crossfire.
no, but what the fuck is Kyle? Dude, Alec is just holding fucking inside.
Okay, listen, let's-
That's what I'm saying.
let-
What are you
let-
guys
let-
even freaking out about? Imagine
what's
Alec
Alec
just
doing?
held the street. Like it changes
Yeah.
his whole thing. Like
Yeah.
all you
Yeah.
had to do was just back up and play back ice cream and watch the cross from mid. Like
yeah, agreed.
Yeah,
Also,
that changes this
like,
whole play. He's literally licking the ice cream door wall.
Yeah,
Like,
to sum it up, bro, this setup right here is just terrible. Like, look at this set. They're not looking at anything. At least Tucked and Hill not staring at anything. Alec is literally licking a wall on ice cream. Abuz is laying down tank, just watching right street, which I'm going to be honest with you, bro. I don't think anybody's going to be trying to break from street initially as they're pushing off of old. Like, there might be somebody taking a route or something like that, but the most important thing is mid-map. Bro, somebody should be up here. Like with an AR, you know what I mean? Like this whole setup should be looking just completely different. If somebody's up here with an AR, nobody can even run through court. They can't go anywhere without being seen. So
But
just
they didn't
like
react. They didn't react, dude. They stunned. Draza got stunned in this sequence. They knew people were middle. They did nothing to react off this information.
Yeah.
Which
Abuza
is
still
even
has yet
more
to
annoying.
turn. Abuza still has yet to turn until there's a guy next
Yeah.
to him. Like, bro, Hook is probably getting bombarded. There's definitely explosions going off near him. You can see the smoke clearing. Like, am I not just tweaking for Hook being like, yo, help me?
it
mid.
was
I think
all.
they're
I
hitting
mean, it
mid.
was all of them,
It's
bro. I
all of
feel like
them.
they
It's
were
all
all
of them, yeah.
tweaking right there. They're gonna have to watch that one back because. And I actually listen. I think Seattle's a good team. To be honest with you, I think they've been pretty good since the start of the league. They've been impressing me. I think they're good. They're definitely like the dark horse team. Like right now, I'm looking at Seattle as like that top 6 team. Like right now, I mean, I don't know if you guys disagree with me on that, but
But here's the issue, Tom: is the top 4 teams are 10-0 versus all teams are not.
no,
top
I know
4
that's why
teams.
I'm not giving them top 4.
And Seattle clearly has shown their ability to beat everybody in the middle and lower the pack. Like they're going to beat people at their level, but their lack of discipline in situations like this is why they're not going to be good enough to beat your phases or optics or your
I think
Toronto's, at least right now.
I think Seattle is along the lines of Heretics. I think Seattle's just had harder competition this week, so we've obviously seen them lose games, and Heretics had weaker competition so far. So you're seeing them thrive. But in terms of like where I expect Seattle to fall, I think Heretics and Seattle are pretty much like neck and neck right now in terms of being
Also
able
gonna
to
depend
compete
on
with top
brackets.
teams. But we'll see. We'll see how Heretics smashes up against some of these top 4 dogs soon.
Yep, and then I mean, any final thoughts on that series, guys? Pat, any final thoughts on that one or no?
I mean, it could have won game 5 easily, right? If they just didn't lose their minds in the end right there. But I still think I'm impressed by Seattle. I think FaZe is probably the best team in the game, so I'm still more impressed by Seattle than I was expecting to be. You know, even looking at last weekend as well. So I agree with. I think Chris, you said it. I think they're like the 6th best team. Maybe 5th. So
The chat's saying that apparently
bad.
Seattle Heretics play very soon, which
Yeah,
could be an
that'd be a
actual
good one.
banger.
Yeah.
I was about to get there. So FaZe got the freebie schedule from this point on. LEG, Vegas, Carolina, and Optics they have after
Jesus
the break.
Christ.
So they're
oh,
getting
you're
the
not
6
lying. Yeah, they got
they're
4 freebies.
Yeah, they're getting a 6 win. So FaZe will have a top seed for the first event. Seattle, to your point, have a very interesting schedule. They're going to play Toronto and then Miami and then Rokkr. Last 3 matches after the break. So I think we're going to find out from Seattle very quickly if the first week was, them being ahead and teams caught up,
You read what Donnie said?
or they go. Yeah, no, I saw what Don said.
I know what you're
I know what
reading.
Don said. That's good banter. I think, to be fair, though, this might be a blessing in disguise for Seattle. A little bit of a reality check of, hey, we were clearly good. We did a good job preparing for the season starting. We've gotten ahead on a bunch of maps, but our lack of discipline and teamwork issues and probably poor communication is going to hold us back from getting farther as a team, and we might get caught up. So we got to work hard over these next 3 weeks because we have an opportunity to beat a bunch of really good teams when we get back and be a top seed going into Major 1 and being a contender. That's
Yep.
what I'm saying if I'm in the Seattle camp.
Donnie said, ZooMaa said Vegas upgraded. Those guys are ass. So Donnie's saying that they're ass.
I agree with Don. They got worried.
Donnie,
Listen,
y'all
this
were
team is not
ass
good.
too. Like,
Yeah, but Don's team could at least win a couple of hard points and get to game 5.
I don't know, Brad. He would shit.
Control that
I don't
control. Listen,
know.
Don, I hate to say it, your team
Don-
last year was still not in control, but
Don, we know what
Let's get
happened.
to game
When,
5.
Don, we know what happened when we teamed together. Don, championship under your belt, brother. That's what I'm talking about. Yes, sir. Don,
yeah, but you guys
knows.
had to pick up Mackenzie Melch so you can get carried by him. I'm kidding.
Jesus.
I mean, that's just false. But yeah, we picked up Mac because we definitely needed a fast sub. And I wonder who got Mackenzie. I wonder who got him.
Yeah, I wonder.
But yeah, listen, last series of the day, we are not going to review gameplay for this one. We are just going to take a look at the stats.
No. Let's review a little bit. Let's review a little
You
bit.
want to review a little bit?
Oh God, please no.
Yeah, I want to review how absolutely bad the Carolina Royal Ravens got shit on.
I
in
mean,
this
can we
series,
just look at this? Like, can we just look at the stat sheet?
I guess.
You want to watch
we can
it? Slay,
burn
I'll
the
watch.
tape.
We'll go through and watch all the gameplay between the series
just
if
like,
you want.
No.
maybe like the hard
Hell
point
no.
only.
I
but-
didn't think
No, don't
anybody wanted to look at this. You know what I
Hell
mean?
no.
I mean, I
Yeah.
hope the Ravens are looking at it, Tom.
The Ravens? Well, they definitely got to be looking
I
at
hope,
it.
yeah, I hope so.
They might be
'cause
the only
damn.
ones looking at it. They got to look at. They got to do something, bro, because
Bro.
they got absolutely slammed today.
Bro,
Slammed.
outside of Vegas choking, there's a real world this Carolina team is sitting on 0 wins right now. Like they are,
They should be, yeah.
they are not good in any of the particular game modes. They really struggle in search. The respawn map pool right now, like they clearly don't look particularly good at invasion. Like the control is very iffy. I don't know, man, for Carolina. Like there's another team that might be thinking going into break, like, are we actually good enough to win this shit? Because here is who Carolina fucking plays when they get back. They're going to get fucking slammed because they play Optic,
Oh my God.
Minnesota, FaZe, and Thieves.
They could maybe
That's
win
a
the
tough,
Minnesota
that
one.
is
2
a
wins,
tough
maybe.
schedule, bro. That is a tough schedule.
2,
for
and
sure.
then maybe they're 3 and 4 and they get lucky, but more likely it's 1 and they're going to be 1 and 6, and it's like.
I mean, I think today it was just a clear skill diff. They couldn't keep up with the slaying power. Kleenex was unreal today, bro. Just the amount of pressure that he puts on the
I
map.
told you guys about this guy.
Nah, Kleenex is insane. Kleenex is actually crazy. He was just running at people, just popping pieces the whole entire series, just going nuts. And then honestly, when you were just watching the map, Toronto always had map control. They always were in favorable positions. They just completely outplayed them today. Like it was, I think this is definitely a match where Ravens should go back and watch. Listen, you guys are chalking up the Ravens already, man. I can already tell. Pat, especially you're chalking them up. But I
Yeah,
think they
for
need
sure.
to. I think they need to go back, watch the VOD, and just look at the little things, man. Just the little things.
I think
and if they can
the
adjust
Gwyn
some
guys should have made the Gwyn guys squad, huh? I do. I still think that would have been
Listen,
the
bro.
best squad for these guys.
Clayster, he's the vet. He's the main AR, and he's got over 11,000 damage, bro. These youngins, bro, everybody's got to step up, bro. Everybody's going to have to step up, including Clay. All 4 of them.
I think this new patch could cause not like a crazy dynamic shift, but I think it might help out some of these teams because I feel like the predictability factor on some of these hard points is going to get a little bit better on some of these maps that teams are avoiding.
You just said the
Maybe-
spawns literally get worse, though.
but some of them are a little bit better in certain aspects. Like I think I've seen a lot of people avoiding subbase, and subbase at least the spawns are definitely more predictable. So it could help out some of these teams that are struggling that might need a reset.
But predictability
sure.
is just going to benefit the better teams.
It could benefit both.
I don't know. Carolina, I agree with you guys. I think they're lucky that they have a win under their belt right now. Like that Vegas series, they definitely caught a win there. I mean, when Gwyn ran through dark and popped that 3-piece, I mean, that Nero just caught a bad timing there, and I thought Vegas really trolled that and threw it away. So Carolina's looking to get a win under their belt. Watching them play, I don't think they're bad players. I think they're good players. I just think right now as a team, like as a unit, they are just on different pages. They're getting beat to rotations. They seem like they're just not on the same page when it comes to how to play the game. I think they really need to lock into this VOD. I think this is a really important VOD that they can go back and watch. And just, bro, honestly, just try and copy what other teams do. I mean, bro, we've all been players. We've all been there. Like, if you're going through a slump or going through a tough time, one thing that always helped me was just watch the good teams and then just copy what they do and just do what they're doing. And it would help a lot. I don't know what you guys think about that,
Bro,
but I think this is a really important VOD for Ravens to go back and watch. Like, they
It's
need to go
very
back and watch
important
that.
because they play Optic tomorrow. If they lose to Optic, they're tilting off of planet fucking Earth, bro. Because they could have. They're very lucky that they make end this week 1 and 3.
I don't think they
before the
would
breaks
tilt
and they go
off
for it.
planet Earth if they lose to Optic. Like that's an expected loss for them.
Maybe in the back of their minds, I don't think they're thinking.
I don't
that
think you
it's like a
tilt
loss
off
right now, though.
expected losses. I think you tilt off losses that are like 50-50 or you should win.
The calculus and the issue that all these teams are going to have though is like this right now. Again, we just highlighted the teams that are in the top 4 are 10-0 against everybody that is not in the top 4.
I
There's
mean,
clearly-
yeah, that's to be expected.
there's a massive gulf right now in the standings. If you take a look, And so everybody at the bottom who's sitting on 0 or 1 win after 4 games or 3 games is kind of in a massive game of like chicken, because some of these teams are going to be like, we don't think we're going to win. 3 weeks of practice, I think we're still going to suck. Do we really want to try and salvage something out of this stage? You know, there are a couple players and challengers who are playing really good right now, especially in NA, who might make our team better, might make our team faster, might be really good at playing around the objective, even amongst all those other abilities. Like, I am going to be very curious to see if there is a roster change or two that happens during this break. I'd be shocked if there isn't. I'll be honestly shocked if no one changes.
Somebody said, "Why are you wearing a shirt that was made for toddlers?" In the
That
chat.
shirt?
Is that Lacoste, bro?
It's a Lacoste Netflix shirt.
Yeah, can I see it, man? Can I see your shirt? Can I see it? What is that? Is that an alligator on a bike?
With a helmet.
Bro, that's the fucking logo, bro.
Yeah, that's
Listen,
hilarious.
listen,
That's
Ben,
fucking
listen,
comedy.
Ben, drip or drown, bro. Drip or drown.
Yeah, I love that. But yo, unless you guys have anything that you want to talk about with the Ravens and Toronto Ultra series, I mean, Scrappy after the series tweeted, "Good Games London," or whatever their name is now, won 3-0. Tombstone pile drive them into the bottom of hell. # so ultra. So like, to me, it was an absolute bloodbath. It wasn't even close, and it seemed like Toronto just had a field day today. I still am a Ravens believer, though. I believe in Clay. I know what Clay can do with his teams, and I've played with Clay, and I know the energy that he's bringing. So I think that they can do it. But man, I feel like they got a lot that they need to work on right now, bro. Like, I'm rooting for Clay because I love Clay, but today didn't look good, man. It just didn't look good. Well, any final thoughts, guys?
A lot of teams on roster mania watch though.
Yeah, there are a lot of teams that I personally right now.
Are we getting into blow
early.
it up territory already?
Bro, the problem is it's very clear that right now there are only a couple of teams that can legitimately win this first event. I thought like going last year, it was like 6. It's like maybe 4. It's legit might be 4 right now. Do we think anyone outside the top 4 has a chance to win Major 1?
No.
I think right now, like
maybe Seattle, maybe Miami, but shit, Miami maybe might come out just different.
Miami's the one where we haven't seen them yet play a top team. So
Yeah, I don't think versus top teams will look the same.
I'm not gonna lie. I think our top 6 is pretty much a lock. I think we got the top 4 obvious candidates, and then we got like Miami and like Seattle outside of that. Or actually, I forget Thieves. Thieves start off a little shaky, but they're also kind of in that contention. But outside of those teams, everyone else is horrible.
Boston, I didn't expect to be as bad as they are, though.
I think we got Thieves, Heretics, and Seattle, the solid mid pack, and then we got the top 4, and then everyone else is just
mid.
They just get giving us nothing, dude.
Let's talk about some of these matches tomorrow. We got Optic Texas going up against the Ravens, LA Thieves going up against the Los Angeles Guerrillas, so the Battle of LA, and then we got Toronto Ultra going up against Boston. Toronto looked great today. Boston still looking for their first win.
Quick day tomorrow.
This might be a quick day tomorrow, guys. It may be.
I'm giving a yellow card to Activision for this Sunday schedule because this is an absolute snooze. There might legit the non-favorites in this 3 matches might legit win 1 map across all 3.
I was gonna say the LAG.
Guerrillas.
I was gonna say the LA Thieves one could be interesting. I still think LAG has a little bit more to show if they can get some more out of Fame. They have some potential because I still think DiamondCon is very good, and I think Assault played okay in their last match. I mean, I don't think they're anything special, but I think that match could be good. Everything.
This is going to be a 9-1 day. Guerrillas are going to win 1, and it's going to be high rise S&D game 2.
There's no way that gets in again. It's like
it might be a terminal S&D fucking game 2 then.
Could
probably
be.
Know, like
Could be anything. We'll never know. Let's start the first series. Optic Ravens. I am going to go with Optic. 3-1. Pat.
3-1. You're giving them a map?
Yep, I'm giving him a map. Probably the S&D, maybe the control shit, maybe evasion control. They win 5 defenses or something.
Carolina winning control against Optic. I don't know.
I'm going DoorDash. Optic might all have 1.2s tomorrow.
1.2 across the board for Optic Texas. All right, Ben, what do you got?
There's a nice little farm sesh for the Optic boys. If you're an Optic fantasy owner, you're feeling good going in tomorrow because this is going to be a quick one for real Optics.
I'm going Optic. It depends on that control whether I think Ravens have a chance of winning the map. I think if Ravens are smart, they get rid of Karachi because that map has looked very good for Optic lately. And then it goes to 2 gimmicky controls, and you never know if Ravens might squeak one out. But I mean, it's Optic all the way.
I'm kind of just gonna speed run this. I got all the left side. Optic, LA Thieves, Toronto Ultra. That's who I got. I got all the left side. I got a 3-1, a 3-2, and a 3-0 or 3-1 on the last one.
Is anyone gonna disagree with that? Is the
I
whole
got
left side?
3-0, 3-1, 3-0.
No, I'm saying all 3 O's. No maps.
You think it's a 9-0 map count tomorrow?
Yeah.
That's a good shot. That's happened before, right? That happened last year, didn't it?
We had that on a Saturday one time.
That was crazy.
At the
That was
event.
actually
It was 5.
insane. That was crazy.
It was Boston actually. It was 5 3-0s on that Saturday. That's when Bance and fucking who was it? Bance and Cammy, I think, had like 1.5s in back-to-back series. It was absurd.
Was
So
it?
I
They had like the
together,
series of their lifetime.
Oh, Bance and Afro.
I just put together
Yeah,
a
Afro.
DraftKings parlay to bank on the 3-0 plus 914. 10% chance.
I was gonna be the only person that chooses an upset here. I'm gonna go LAG 3-2, but everything else is pretty much.
LAG
Bias cheese.
LAG 3-2.
Bias.
all good.
Listen, I want to see them.
You might be right. I'm just busting your balls.
Throw some punches.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. The prize picks were hitting today, bro. They were hitting today. I don't know what's going on over there, but Bannon, you were cooking me before my picks, and I feel like
You're in fine this weekend.
I feel like I shut you up this weekend, Ben. I feel like I shut you up, but listen, guys, that's gonna do it for us today on the flank. I mean, Ben, why don't you hit us with a putt real quick before we hit us with an outro real quick? Got a lot of people that are betting some channel points here, so we need you to lock the fuck in.
I got you.
Oh, Jesus Christ. All right,
Hey,
Pat.
what the fuck does that mean?
Pat, what do you got? Chris, what do you got? Is he hitting this or what?
Wide left.
Wide left?
No, hold on. Actually, he's hitting this. There was a lot of wins in chat earlier. I think he's feeling good right
No,
now.
hold on.
He's got
Back the
some
ball
confidence.
up, bro. Make sure he's got the ball in like the rear position of the map, bro. He's been choking up.
Back it up. A little bit more behind the white lines. You see the white lines? You see the white lines?
Yeah, you should be starting at the white
starting
lines.
at the beginning of the white line. That's where you should be starting. Yeah,
He's
back
cheating.
it up.
He's
You're
cheating.
cheating.
The point where you put the ball, there's a fucking marker on it.
Yeah, but we want to see
I
at
don't
the
give
start
a
of the white
fuck.
lines.
I don't give a fuck. I hope he fucking misses now. Giving us attitude and shit. Ben stepping up on a green. Stinky slippies on. He's gonna let her. Look at him, dumbass. Shit the fuck. That was terrible.
Oh my God.
Oh,
He didn't get
Jesus
up the ramp.
Christ. He didn't even make it up the ramp. He didn't even make it up.
Never mind, Ben. Put it further. Push the ball up.
Put it up, man. Put it up. Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh, he almost missed that. He overshot that one. He overshot it. He got lucky.
He got lucky. He got lucky. It rolled back.
I'm
He
throwing
got
a
lucky.
fucking. I'm throwing a.
If it wasn't on a ramp, he would have
he's
missed
done.
that.
He's pissed, bro. He's pissed. He's out of here, ladies and gentlemen. That's going to do it for us. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you're watching on YouTube. And, of course, go to anchor.fm/The Flank to check out all the audio sites that we're on. Go follow at The Flank on Twitter. Gersh doing a phenomenal job running social, so make sure to go show him some love. Guys, thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you guys all so much for the love. Take care. Brush your hair. And we'll see you guys next time on another episode of The Flank. Take it easy.